Chapter 2378. The sudden appearance of the perfect sword realm caused the phantasm's hand movements to falter slightly. It was also at this moment that a white-robed figure appeared in front of Xiao Xiao and wrapped his arms around her waist. Then, the two of them disappeared from where they stood. The person who came had comprehended the sword realm at the perfect sword realm. Naturally, like the evil spirits, he could use the sword realm at will. The evil spirits looked into the distance and soon saw the person who came. It was Xiao Chun, whom they had met once in Mausoleum City. Obviously, the sword realm that suddenly appeared was Xiao Chen's. Xiao Chen's explanation had also broken through to the perfect sword realm. The evil spirits smiled and looked at Xiao Chun. They chuckled and said, "I didn't expect that even you would come to Leaping Tiger City. If there was anyone among the geniuses in the Great Thousand World that the evil spirits were looking forward to, it would probably be Xiao Chun." When he heard the evil spirit's words, Xiao Chun said calmly, "There's nothing I can do. They can't stop you." Xiao Chen's words were true. Dao Ju, Li Chun, and Xiao Xiao were actually unable to stop the evil spirits. Moreover, if the evil spirits hadn't intervened, Xiao Xiao would have died just now. Xiao Xiao leaned in Xiao Chen's arms. Her face was pale, and it was obvious that she was seriously injured. However, Xiao Chen's arrival made Xiao Xiao feel relieved. She said softly, "You're here." Xiao Xiao indeed thought that she was going to die just now. Who would have thought that at the last moment, Xiao Chun would appear in time and save her? While the two of them were talking, Dao Ju and Li Chun came to Xiao Chen's side one after another. The evil spirits didn't seem to have any intention of intervening. Dao Ju and the others were indeed delighted by Xiao Chen's appearance. However, they were even more shocked that Xiao Chen's sword realm had broken through to the perfect sword realm. Dao Ju looked at Xiao Chun and said excitedly, "Xiao Chun, when did your sword realm break through to the perfect sword realm?" With a perfect sword realm, Xiao Chun had the ability to contend with the evil spirits. At the very least, he wouldn't be like the evil spirits and the others, who couldn't fight back at all. Hearing Dao Ju's words, Xiao Chun smiled and said, "I was lucky to break through recently. All right, now's not the time to talk. Take Xiao Xiao back and take care of her. Leave the rest to me." Xiao Chun gestured for Dao Ju and the others to go back first and leave the rest to him. Hearing Xiao Chen's words, although Dao Ju and the others were unwilling, they knew that even if they stayed, they wouldn't be of much help. In fact, they might even drag Xiao Chen down. Although they were unwilling, there was nothing they could do. Unknowingly, Xiao Chen's strength had surpassed theirs. This made Dao Ju and the others feel bitter in their hearts. The three of them found it hard to accept that Xiao Chun had suddenly widened the gap between them. However, since they wouldn't be of much help even if they stayed, Dao Ju and Li Chun didn't say anything else and left with Xiao Xiao. The evil spirits didn't stop the three of them from leaving. Although the evil spirits wanted to kill the three of them before, now that Xiao Chun had appeared, the evil spirits immediately lost interest in the three of them. Perhaps in the eyes of the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others weren't a threat at all. Although the three of them were monstrous geniuses in the Great Thousand World, the evil spirits had never taken them seriously. They could kill them whenever they wanted. On the contrary, Xiao Chun had actually comprehended the perfect sword realm, which made the evil spirits somewhat interested. The evil spirits looked at Xiao Chun with the same smile on their faces and said faintly, "Xiao Chun, you really surprised me. The last time we met, your sword realm didn't seem to have broken through to the perfect sword realm, right?" Upon hearing the evil spirit's words, Xiao Chun didn't hide anything and nodded. "Indeed, I was lucky enough to have a breakthrough in the past few days. The last time the two of them met in Mausoleum City, Xiao Chen's sword realm had indeed not broken through to the perfect sword realm. It was also because he suddenly had an epiphany in the past few days that he successfully broke through. Even Xiao Chun was surprised by the breakthrough in his sword realm. It was because it was a matter of course. He had a sudden epiphany, and the breakthrough was completed naturally. It could be considered a blessing in disguise. Although he was originally seriously injured, his sword realm had broken through to the perfect sword realm, which surprised Xiao Chun. It was also because of the breakthrough in his sword realm that Shao Chun hurriedly rushed to Leaping Tiger City. He knew that the battle in Leaping Tiger City was difficult, and he also knew that Yin Sheng was killed by the evil spirits. When he first heard the news of Yin Sheng's death, Shao Chun was also extremely shocked. Apart from that, he was also wary of the evil spirits. The evil spirits' strength was indeed not to be underestimated, since they were able to kill Yin Sheng. The evil spirits didn't doubt Shao Chen's words, but at this time, they also chuckled. However, do you think that a mere perfect sword realm is enough to contend with me? When they said this, the evil spirits appeared to be very confident. In response, Shao Chun said faintly, "Let's try and you'll know." "All right, then let's do it," the evil spirits said. Shao Chun was now the only person in the Great Thousand World who could arouse the interest of the evil spirits. Even sovereigns like Dao Xiong and Luo Xing were not taken seriously by the evil spirits. In the eyes of the evil spirits, they had only lived for so many years, so they had absolute confidence in breaking through to the sovereign realm. They also believed that as long as they broke through to the sovereign realm, Dao Xiong, Luo Xing, and the other sovereigns wouldn't be their opponents at all. Therefore, the evil spirits could be said to be arrogant, and only Shao Chun could enter their eyes. Of course, with Shao Chen's current strength, it was still not enough to attract the attention of the evil spirits. As soon as he finished speaking, Shao Chun didn't answer this time. His figure disappeared from where he was, and the next moment, he appeared behind the evil spirits. The evil spirits didn't have any time to react. However, just as Shao Chun stabbed out with his sword, the evil spirits also disappeared, and Shao Chen's attack naturally missed. After using the boundary flash to dodge Shao Chen's attack, the evil spirits appeared on Shao Chen's left side and mercilessly counterattacked. At the same time, Shao Chun also used the boundary flash to dodge perfectly. Both of them had complete sword realms, and in their respective sword realms, they were able to use the boundary flash. For a moment, Shao Chun and the evil spirits disappeared into thin air, and then suddenly reappeared without a trace. Many people had probably never seen such a battle before. It was as if the entire space was filled with the figures of the two, but it also seemed as if they weren't even in this space at all. They kept dodging and moving, and neither of them hit the other. This battle seemed like a game, but in fact, Shao Chun and the evil spirits were all tensed up. This was because even the slightest bit of carelessness could be seized by the other party, and they could be severely injured or even killed on the spot. Please add this to your collection. Monthly vote. Recommend this. Chapter 2379. Shao Chun and the evil spirits were both at the small perfection end realm, but judging from their auras, it was obvious that the evil spirit's aura was thicker. After all, based on the time it took to break through to the small perfection end realm, the evil spirits had long broken through to the small perfection end realm and were only a step away from the great perfection end realm. On the other hand, Shao Chun had just broken through. Shao Chun and the evil spirits were both at the small perfection end realm, but judging from their auras, it was obvious that the evil spirit's aura was thicker. After all, based on the time it took to break through to the small perfection end realm, the evil spirits had long broken through to the great perfection end realm and were only a step away from the great perfection end realm. On the other hand, Shao Chun had just broken through. So, at the start, although Shao Chun and the evil spirits were evenly matched, to be honest, the evil spirits didn't use their full strength. After a period of intense battle, the evil spirits gradually understood Shao Chun's strength. It exceeded their expectations, but it still wasn't enough. At the same time, as the battle continued, Shao Chun felt more and more tired. The evil spirit's strength was still increasing, so Shao Chun naturally found it harder and harder to deal with them. He already knew that the evil spirits were strong, but only after truly fighting with the evil spirits did Shao Chun know that the evil spirits were actually so strong. Moreover, Shao Chun's intuition told him that the evil spirits weren't really serious. This feeling made Shao Chun feel a sense of helplessness, especially when the evil spirits were so young. This was the first time he was completely suppressed by someone of the same generation. Xiao Chun had an indescribable feeling. At the same time, in the intense battle, the evil spirits slowly opened their mouths. You have indeed surprised me. However, this is not enough. Today's battle is actually completely meaningless because you are no match for me. Next, I will only use one sword strike. If you can take it, I will not kill you, said Yu Futian. As they spoke, the evil spirit's aura crazily increased. Compared to when they were fighting with Xiao Chun, they were like two different people. The evil spirit's aura continued to increase. Just the aura alone gave Xiao Chun huge pressure. They were both at the small perfection end realm, but the evil spirit's aura was much stronger than Xiao Chen's. It was hard to imagine that there would be such a huge difference in aura between the two at the same cultivation level. You're very surprised? There is nothing to be surprised about. On the martial path, the further you go, the bigger the gap between the same realm. Although you and I are both at the small perfection end realm, you just broke through. As for me, I have been in this realm for many years. Naturally, we can't be compared. Take one of my swords. As they spoke, the evil spirit's sword flew out of their hands. It directly pierced through the clouds and flew into the sky. Instantly, a terrifying pressure pressed down from the sky. It was as if the sky was about to fall. The terrifying pressure made Xiao Chun feel as if his body was several times heavier. However, before Xiao Chun could catch his breath, a huge sword slowly descended from the thick clouds above Xiao Chen's head. This was the evil spirit's final attack. After doing all this, the evil spirits didn't have any intention of staying. They calmly looked at Xiao Chun and said, "If you don't die, we will continue next time." As they spoke, the evil spirits turned around and left. This was a serious attack from the evil spirits. Although it couldn't be considered a killing move from the evil spirits, it was still extremely difficult for Xiao Chun to take it with his current strength. Of course, if Xiao Chun couldn't even take this attack, then the evil spirits had nothing to look forward to. After all, if he couldn't even take this attack, then Xiao Chun wasn't worthy of being their opponent. Thus, the evil spirits didn't have anything to look forward to. After the evil spirits left, Xiao Chun felt his hair stand on end as he faced the huge blood-red sword descending from the sky. Xiao Chun had only felt this kind of feeling from the venerable emperors. Could it be that the evil spirit's strength had already reached the venerable emperor realm? That's impossible. However, the current situation didn't allow Xiao Chun to think too much. The evil spirit's attack made Xiao Chun feel a strong aura of death. Not only Xiao Chun, but the others on the battlefield were also shocked by this attack. Dao Xiong, Tenzu, and the other venerable emperors also wanted to help at the first moment. After all, in their opinion, with Xiao Chen's strength, there was no way he could take this attack. Unfortunately, Tenzu's intention was quickly seen through by Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns, who firmly held them back. The venerable emperors couldn't help Xiao Chun at all, and the others couldn't help him at all. If even Xiao Chun couldn't block this attack, then the others would only be courting death. Xiao Chun forced a bitter smile as he resisted the terrifying pressure emitted by the huge blood-red sword. "You're giving me such a big gift before you leave?" It had to be said that this big gift from the evil spirits really shocked Xiao Chun. However, after the battle with the evil spirits, Xiao Chun also had the thought of not admitting defeat in his heart. They were both of the younger generation, and both of them were at the small perfection end realm. Xiao Chun didn't believe that he couldn't catch up to the evil spirits. Immediately, a surge of fighting spirit rose from Xiao Chun's body. At the same time, he softly said, "Body into a sword." Along with his voice, countless sword qi crazily surrounded Xiao Chun. At this moment, Xiao Chen's entire body seemed to have turned into a sharp Jian Yi. Moreover, with Xiao Chun as the center, a huge silvery white sword shadow slowly condensed. The huge silvery white sword firmly protected Xiao Chun. Although it was smaller than the blood-red sword, its power was equally terrifying. Facing this big gift from the evil spirits, Xiao Chun didn't underestimate it all. On the contrary, he used all his strength in order to take on this attack from the evil spirits. Not only did his aura rise, but everyone looked at the two huge swords that were at odds with each other. As the blood-red sword continued to fall, Xiao Qian's eyes flashed with a hint of determination. Using his body as a sword, he directly charged towards the blood-red sword. The two huge swords fiercely collided, and the space instantly collapsed. A terrifying void storm raged wildly, and the entire space was instantly destroyed. It was like the end of the world. Facing such a head-on collision, the surrounding cultivators were all stunned. Who would have thought that Xiao Chun and the evil spirits could actually explode with such power? With such combat strength, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that no one below the Emperor realm could match up to them. This is a battle between two End Realm experts? A Saber Sect Vice Sect leader said in shock. These two people are really too terrifying. Let's not talk about this first. Can Xiao Chun block this sword? While everyone was shocked, they were also worried about Xiao Chun. After all, from the current situation, Xiao Chun was clearly at a disadvantage. After the blood-red sword and Xiao Chun fiercely collided, it didn't stop and was still slowly falling. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2380. Terrifying shockwaves spread out wildly. Under such an intense collision, no one knew what Xiao Qian's current situation was. Moreover, no one dared to casually get close to him. The power of Xiao Chun and the Phantasm's attack was simply too terrifying. Even the End Realm experts felt a sense of dread when facing it. After a full 15 minutes, the shockwaves slowly dissipated. The two giant swords in the sky also shattered at the same time. Slowly, everyone saw Xiao Qian's voice appear in the sky. He was in a very miserable state. His clothes were already dyed red with blood. His face was extremely pale, and his aura was extremely weak. It could be seen that in the previous head-on collision, in order to block the evil spirit's sword, Xiao Chun was indeed heavily injured. However, no matter what, Xiao Chun finally blocked the evil spirit's sword. Although the result was a little miserable, at least Xiao Chun succeeded. His vision blurred. Xiao Chun only felt waves of intense pain coming from all over his body. Just as Xiao Chun felt his body sway and was about to fall from the sky, a Moon Palace elder rushed over in time and supported Xiao Chun's body. Sect Master Xiao, are you all right? While supporting Xiao Chun, the elder asked with concern. The battle just now had indeed made them gasp in amazement. The strength of Xiao Chun and the evil spirits had indeed made everyone tremble in fear. Facing the Moon Palace elder's concern, Xiao Chun nodded slightly and said with some difficulty, "I'm all right. There aren't any big problems." Although he said that there weren't any big problems, in reality, Xiao Chun's injuries were already very serious. Blocking the evil spirit's sword head-on caused Xiao Chun's injuries to be quite severe. If Xiao Chun was sick, there was no need for him to block the evil spirit's sword head-on. However, in Xiao Chun's opinion, facing the evil spirit's sword, he couldn't back down no matter what, because there was no reason to do so. Xiao Chun wanted to catch up to the evil spirits and defeat the evil spirits. If he chose to back down, Xiao Chun knew that he would probably never be able to catch up to the evil spirits in his lifetime. Xiao Chun had his own pride. Therefore, facing the evil spirit's sword, Xiao Chun didn't allow himself to back down. Sensing that Xiao Chun's injuries were very serious, the Moon Palace elder didn't hesitate and immediately fed Xiao Chun a healing elixir before leaving the battlefield with Xiao Chun. Given Xiao Chun's current condition, it was obviously not suitable for him to continue participating in the battle. Moreover, Xiao Chun had successfully blocked the evil spirits in this battle, which was quite rare. Although the evil spirits had taken the initiative to leave, everyone could clearly see that if it wasn't for Xiao Chun, Xiao Xiao, Dao Ju, and Li Chun would have been killed long ago. The evil spirits had once again displayed their powerful strength to the Great Thousand World, causing everyone in the Great Thousand World to be in a gloomy mood. At least in the face of the evil spirits, apart from the various sovereigns, no one in the Great Thousand World could be a match for the evil spirits. Only Xiao Chun could predict and contend with them. Moreover, even Xiao Chun didn't have the possibility of defeating the evil spirits. If the evil spirits hadn't taken the initiative to retreat, Xiao Chun would probably have been killed on the spot. Xiao Chun was escorted out of the battlefield by the Moon Palace Elder. In the following battle, due to the departure of the evil spirits, both sides once again fell into a tense situation. Of course, all of this had nothing to do with Xiao Chun. Upon returning to the Moon Palace's encampment, Xiao Chun immediately received medical treatment. The battle could be said to be full of twists and turns. The appearance of the evil spirits made the Great Thousand World unable to deal with them. Although the various sovereigns had the strength to deal with the evil spirits, the evil sovereign on the evil path side wouldn't give the Great Thousand World such an opportunity. In the final battle, both sides still chose to retreat, and the casualties were also very heavy. However, what made the Great Thousand World helpless was that they still couldn't successfully take down Leaping Tiger City. Compared to Mausoleum City, Leaping Tiger City seemed to be a more difficult bone to chew. It made the Great Thousand World feel as though they didn't know where to start. Xiao Chun was seriously injured and unconscious. After the battle ended, the evil spirits, who had returned to Leaping Tiger City first, also heard that Xiao Chun had successfully withstood their sword. The evil spirits sat indifferently in the courtyard. They didn't pay attention to the outcome of the battle, but Yang Chun, who was beside them, said regretfully, "It's really a pity. This time, we could have defeated the Great Thousand World." Yang Chun indeed felt that it was a pity. If the evil spirits didn't leave and directly killed Xiao Chun and the others, the evil path would definitely have won this battle. Moreover, the evil spirits also had the ability to do so. As long as the evil spirits wanted to, Xiao Xiao, Dao Ju, Li Chun, and Xiao Chun probably wouldn't have been able to escape. However, the evil spirits let the four of them go. Upon hearing Yang Chen's words, the evil spirits said indifferently, "Why? Do you have a problem with my way of doing things?" Yang Chun could hear the complaint in Yang Chen's words. In response, Yang Chun was so frightened that he immediately bowed respectfully and said, "I don't dare." The longer Yang Chun stayed by the evil spirit's side, the more he understood the evil spirit's character. The evil spirit's character was definitely extremely arrogant, and they did things as they pleased. If the evil spirits didn't want to do something, even the evil sovereigns wouldn't be able to change it. For example, this time, the evil spirits let Xiao Chun, Xiao Xiao, Li Chun, and Dao Ju go. This was indeed wrong, because the evil spirits had the ability to kill the four of them, but they still let the four of them go. In the end, although the Great Thousand World gained a small advantage, it didn't affect the big picture. Imagine, if the evil spirits could kill Xiao Chun and the other three, what would the final result be? Even if they couldn't defeat the Great Thousand World in one go, they would definitely be able to cause irreparable damage to the Great Thousand World. However, the evil spirits let Xiao Chun and the other three go. Not only did Yang Chun feel helpless about this, but the evil sovereigns also felt helpless. But it was a pity that the evil spirit's character was like this. They did everything according to their own preferences, and no one could stop them. Upon seeing the terrified look on Yang Chen's face, the evil spirits didn't bother about him anymore. A faint glint of interest flashed in their eyes as they murmured softly, "Xiao Chun, can you surprise me again next time?" The evil spirits didn't kill Xiao Chun entirely because they felt that Xiao Chun was the only one who was qualified to fight against them. Besides, Xiao Chun had indeed surprised them this time. However, it was merely a surprise. Xiao Chun was still far from catching up to them. Besides, the evil spirits wouldn't possibly remain stagnant. At this thought, the evil spirits said flatly, "I'm going to make a trip back to the evil god palace. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations." End of chapter. Chapter 2381. The evil spirits and the various evil sovereigns were all present in the main hall of the Huyue City Lord Manor. The evil spirits had released Xiao Chun, Xiao Xiao, and the other three. Although the various evil sovereigns were unhappy, they didn't say anything. The evil spirits and the various evil sovereigns were all present in the main hall of the Huyus City Lord Manor. The various evil spirits had released Xiao Chun, Xiao Xiao, and the other three. Although the various evil sovereigns were unhappy, they didn't say anything. They were clear about the evil spirit's personality. Moreover, with the evil spirit's arrogance, they had never placed these evil sovereigns in their eyes. The evil spirits had always done things according to their own preferences. They never cared about what others thought, even if the other party was an evil sovereign. Therefore, although they were unhappy, the various evil sovereigns still didn't say anything. Because even if they did, the evil spirits probably wouldn't care. Have you decided? Looking at the evil spirits, Yin Tong was the first to speak. As for the battle today, Yin Tong didn't mention it at all. Hearing Yin Tong's words, the evil spirits smiled. It's about time to break through. The evil spirits planned to make a trip back to the evil god palace. The various evil sovereigns naturally didn't have any objections. Moreover, they couldn't stop the evil spirits at all. However, the various evil sovereigns could guess the reason why the evil spirits returned to the evil god palace. It was obvious that the evil spirits were preparing to break through to the end realm. After all, with the strength of the evil spirits, they already had the ability to break through to the end realm. It wasn't difficult for the evil spirits to break through now. Now, the only thing the evil spirits needed was enough blood energy to support their breakthrough. Due to the difference in cultivation methods, the evil path and righteous path cultivators had different breakthroughs. For evil path cultivators, apart from heaven and earth spiritual energy, they also needed enough blood energy to support their breakthroughs. The only way for the evil spirits to obtain enough blood energy to break through to end realm was to return to the evil god palace. Therefore, after hearing the words of the evil spirits, all the evil sovereigns present could guess the intentions of the evil spirits. Immediately, no one stopped them. Yintong even said with a smile, "That's good too. With Xiezi's strength, if he breaks through to End Realm, he will be able to fight against Emperor Realm experts." With the current strength of the evil spirits, it could be said that they were invincible below the Emperor Realm. If the evil spirits could break through to the End Realm, they might not be able to compete with the Emperor Realm, but they could at least exchange a few blows. After all, to fight against an Emperor Realm expert was simply unimaginable. For so many years, no one had ever been able to fight against an Emperor Realm expert. They were on two completely different levels. The evil sovereigns didn't have any intention of stopping them. Of course, even if they tried to stop them, with the character of the evil spirits, they probably wouldn't care. As for the battle at Leaping Tiger City, the evil spirits didn't care about it at all. After all, from the current situation, the battle at Leaping Tiger City was probably going to enter a stalemate. Neither side could do anything to the other. Therefore, after saying goodbye to the evil sovereigns, the evil spirits directly left Leaping Tiger City. Of course, Yangshan also left with them. After the evil spirits left Leaping Tiger City, on the other side, Xiao Chun was heavily injured. In the end, Dan Xingyang personally treated Xiao Chun. However, because Xiao Chen's injuries were too serious, although his life wasn't in danger, he still needed to rest for a period of time. His injuries had already completely stabilized, but Xiao Chen's body was still very weak. However, compared to his injuries, Xiao Chen's heart was very complicated. After the battle with the evil spirits, Xiao Chun was very clear about the gap between him and the evil spirits. If it wasn't for the fact that the evil spirits didn't have any killing intent towards him, he would probably be dead by now. Of course, it was the same for Xiao Xiao, Li Chun, and Dao Ju. It could be said that he was completely crushed by people of the same generation. This was something that Xiao Chun had never encountered before, and it also happened to stimulate the battle intent in Xiao Chen's heart. Whether it was for the overall situation or for himself, Xiao Chun felt that he had to defeat the evil spirits. Although there was still a large gap between his strength and the evil spirits, Xiao Chun didn't admit defeat and didn't feel discouraged because of this. He wanted to recover from his injuries as soon as possible so that he could think of ways to increase his strength. While Xiao Chun was recuperating in the Moon Palace's encampment, 5 days had passed in a row. On this day, Xiaochen closed his eyes and recuperated in his room as usual. It was also at this time that Jun Wuya suddenly appeared in front of Xiaochen. Previously, Jun Wuya didn't participate in the battle in Leaping Tiger City because Jun Wuya only had one task now, and that was to deal with the evil god Xietian. In the entire great wide world, only Jun Wuya could contend with Xietian. The other emperors weren't Xietian's match, so Jun Wuya's only task was to deal with Xietian. However, this time, Jun Wuya took the initiative to rush to Leaping Tiger City and directly came to the Moon Palace's encampment. Needless to say, his purpose was obviously for Xiaochen. Seeing Jun Wuya come, Xiaochen was slightly stunned. Then he revealed a self-deprecating smile and said, "Master, I know about what happened in Leaping Tiger City. Did you fight with the evil spirits?" Hearing this, Jun Wuya sat down in front of Xiaochen and said with a faint smile, "Yes, but I was defeated in the end." Hearing this, Xiaochen said with a smile. Xiaochen didn't intend to hide the fact that he was defeated by the evil spirits. Of course, there was no need to hide it at all. After all, a defeat was a defeat. His strength was inferior, so there was nothing to hide. It wasn't that Xiaochen didn't have the courage to face defeat. Seeing that Xiaochen straightforwardly admitted his defeat, Jun Wuya nodded with a smile and said, "The evil spirit's talent is not bad. It can be said that they're the #1 person since ancient times. At least in the history of the great wide world, as far as I know, the talent and combat strength of the evil spirits are enough to be ranked in the top 3. Jun Wuya also acknowledged the strength of the evil spirits. They were indeed extremely talented people. If the great wide world's geniuses were the highest praise for the younger generation, then the evil spirits were probably above the great wide world's geniuses. After his voice fell, Jun Wuya looked at Xiaochen with a faint smile and said indifferently, "This is the first time you've been defeated by someone of the same generation. How is it? Do you have any insights? I will win it back." Hearing this, Xiaochen said in a firm tone. Seeing that Xiaochen wasn't discouraged by this failure, Jun Wuya smiled and nodded. "Yes, I'm here this time because of this matter. I've already discussed it with Tenzu. Under normal circumstances, Chin'er, it will be very difficult for you to catch up with the evil spirits. After all, while you are improving, the evil spirits are also improving. Therefore, if you want to have the power to fight against the evil spirits, you will need some external help. There's only one place in the great wide world that has such a treasure, the spiritual energy spring. Please add it to your collection. Monthly vote recommended." Chapter 2382. Spiritual Energy Spring. Upon hearing Jun Wuya's words, Xiaochen's face revealed a hint of doubt because he had never heard of the spiritual energy spring. Not only Xiaochen, but probably not many people in the Great Thousand World had heard of the spiritual energy spring, except for the various sovereigns. Spiritual Energy Spring. Upon hearing Jun Wuya's words, Xiaochen's face revealed a hint of doubt because he had never heard of the spiritual energy spring. Not only Xiaochen, but probably not many people in the Great Thousand World had heard of the spiritual energy spring, except for the various sovereigns. Seeing Xiaochen's doubtful expression, Jun Wuya didn't keep him in suspense and said straightforwardly, "The spiritual energy spring is actually the source of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It is because of the existence of the spiritual energy spring that there is an endless supply of spiritual energy between heaven and earth. This spiritual energy spring had always been guarded by Tenzu, and even the various sovereigns had never entered it. This time, if it weren't for the evil spirits, Tenzu probably wouldn't have allowed Jun Wuya to let Xiaochen enter it to cultivate." Xiaochen looked at Jun Wuya with some surprise. He didn't expect Jun Wuya to come here to tell him this. However, this also made him happy, because from Jun Wuya's words, it seemed that this spiritual energy spring could increase his strength. Xiaochen was immediately tempted. However, before Xiaochen nodded, Jun Wuya continued, "Don't make a decision now. Don't make a decision yet. Although this spirit chi spring can greatly increase your strength, fortune and misfortune are interdependent. Going to the spirit chi spring is also very dangerous. According to Junwuya, the spiritual energy spring was the source of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. If Xiao Qian could cultivate in the spiritual energy spring, his strength would indeed be greatly improved. Not to mention other things, it wouldn't be difficult for Xiao Qian to break through to the great perfection in realm or even the peak of it in a short time. However, under the premise of having such a heaven-defying ability, the spiritual chi spring was also very dangerous. This danger was enough to be fatal. As the source of the spiritual chi of heaven and earth, the density of the spiritual chi in the spiritual chi spring could be said to be terrifying. Even Junwuya could not guarantee that Xiao Qian could withstand the spiritual chi in the spiritual chi spring. Once Xiao Qian was unable to withstand the dense spiritual chi of the spiritual chi spring, it was very likely that he would be devoured by the terrifying spiritual chi and die. Even sovereigns did not dare to enter the spirit chi spring to cultivate, let alone Xiao Qian. However, this was the only way for Xiao Qian to quickly improve his strength. As for other cultivation secret realms, they were no longer of much use to Xiao Qian. Moreover, there was an even more special place where the spirit chi spring was located, and that was the origin of laws. The place where the spirit chi spring was located was also the place where the laws of heaven and earth gathered. Entering there to cultivate was also very helpful to Xiao Qian's comprehension of the power of laws. However, at the same time, it was also extremely dangerous. Of course, if Xiao Qian could successfully comprehend the support of the laws, then he would be able to achieve the word of law. This would also lay the foundation for breaking through to the sovereign realm in the future. Xiao Qian did not know much about breaking through to the sovereign realm. After all, the previous Xiao Qian was still very far away from the sovereign realm, so Junwuya did not say much in this regard. However, now that Xiao Qian had the cultivation of small perfection in realm and was on ahead to the spirit chi spring to cultivate, there were some things that Junwuya planned to tell Xiao Qian in advance so that Xiao Qian could be prepared. There was no need to talk about the increase in cultivation. However, to truly reach the sovereign realm, there was still the most crucial prerequisite, which was to comprehend the origin of laws and achieve the true word of law. As everyone knew, martial artists could comprehend many laws, such as the laws of fire, the laws of water, and so on. However, to break through to the sovereign realm, just comprehending the laws was not enough. One had to achieve the word of law. What was the word of law? It meant that all the laws of heaven and earth could be used by one. Once one spoke, all the laws of heaven and earth that existed in heaven and earth had to be used by one. This was the word of law. As he spoke, Junwuya personally demonstrated for Xiao Qian. Junwuya slowly opened his right hand. On his palm, there was first the law of fire, then it quickly changed into the law of water, the law of wind, the law of thunder, and so on. Simply put, the sovereign realm is no longer simply comprehending a certain type of law. Instead, one can use and control any law in heaven and earth at will, including the laws of time and space. This was the biggest difference between the sovereign realm and other martial artists. Martial artists below the sovereign realm might be able to comprehend many types of laws, or they might be able to comprehend a law to an extremely high level, but they definitely could not do it like the sovereign realm. Once one reached the sovereign realm, it was not about how many laws one had comprehended, but rather all the laws of heaven and earth could be used by one. This was the truly terrifying part of the sovereign realm. However, it wasn't a simple matter to make one's words become law. The difficulty was so high that it couldn't be explained in a few words. It could even be said that to comprehend the word of law, this was no longer something that could be taught. One could only rely on one's own comprehension, and it also required a certain amount of luck. Without luck, one might not be able to reach this step in one's lifetime. This was also the reason why the number of sovereign realm experts in the Great Thousand World had always been very small. After hearing Junwuya's words, Xiao Qian also gained a lot of understanding of the sovereign realm. This would also pave the way for Xiao Qian to break through to the sovereign realm in the future. After saying so much, Junwuya finally looked at Xiao Qian and asked seriously, "Therefore, Although the spiritual energy spring will be of great help to you, it is also very dangerous. Chinur, there is even a high chance that you will die in it. Therefore, you have to think carefully before you go. The spiritual energy spring was a great opportunity for Xiao Chun, but at the same time, it was also a great danger. If it were any other time, Tenzu would definitely not agree to let Xiao Chun enter the spiritual energy spring to cultivate. Not to mention Xiao Chun, even sovereigns like them would not agree to it. This was because it was too dangerous to absorb spiritual energy from the spiritual energy spring previously. Secondly, it would also affect the spiritual energy in the world. To put it simply, if Xiao Chun cultivated in the spiritual energy spring, the spiritual energy in the world would naturally become thin because the spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring would be absorbed by Xiao Chun. This effect might last for decades. Although it did not seem long, it would have a huge impact on the cultivation environment of the world. It could be said that Tenzu was gambling again this time. Moreover, compared to this, in Tenzu's eyes, defeating the evil warriors was probably more important. This was because once they were defeated, not only would the spiritual energy spring be destroyed, but the entire world would be plunged into misery and suffering. For the people of the Great Thousand World, the evil spirits were now an existence that no one could deal with because no one could compete with the evil spirits. After hearing Jun Wuya's words, Xiao Chun hesitated for a moment. However, it was only for a moment before Xiao Chun gave an answer. Master, I've thought about it. I'll go. Begging for your collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. End of chapter. Chapter 2383. Xiao Chun made his decision without much hesitation. Although Xiao Chun knew about the dangers of the spiritual energy spring from Jun Wuya's mouth, with danger came a great opportunity. A great opportunity that could raise his strength to a new level in a short period of time. So Xiao Chun was not willing to give up such a great opportunity. Not to mention, if he did not go to the spiritual energy spring, Xiao Chun would not be able to fight against the evil spirits. So Xiao Chun had no reason to refuse. Hearing Xiao Chun's words, Jun Wuya did not seem too shocked because Xiao Chun's answer was already within Jun Wuya's expectations. With Jun Wuya's understanding of Xiao Chun would not choose to retreat because of this little danger. So Xiao Chun agreed to go to the spiritual energy spring. All of this was within Jun Wuya's expectations. Hearing Xiao Chun's answer, Jun Wuya slightly nodded and said, "Then you can rest at ease and recuperate. In 3 days, Master will come pick you up." Xiao Chun's injuries had not healed yet, so going to the spiritual energy spring with injuries was not a wise thing to do. It could even be said to be very stupid. As soon as his voice fell, Jun Wuya gave Xiao Chun a healing pill. This healing pill was one of Jun Wuya's treasured healing pills. Its effects could be said to be terrifying. With the help of this healing pill, in addition to Xiao Chun's strong physical body, within 3 days, Xiao Chun's injuries would be completely healed. Following this, Jun Wuya gave some instructions to Xiao Chun. Then he did not stay for long and quickly left. Xiao Chun was preparing to enter the spiritual energy spring, and on the other side, after the evil spirits returned to the evil god palace, they found their father Xietian. Seeing the evil spirits come, Xietian revealed a faint smile. Ming'er wants to open the blood sacrifice array. Xietian had already guessed the goal of the evil spirits returning to the evil god palace. The evil spirits definitely came to break through. Regarding this, the evil spirits did not hide it and directly nodded in response. Naturally, Xietian would not reject this. Moreover, the evil spirit's cultivation had already reached the peak of the end realm. So breaking through to the end realm was a matter of pushing the boat along with the current. The evil spirits might even break through to the evil sovereign realm. After all, phantasms had long since mastered the ability to cast spells with their words, and were ready to break through to the evil lord level. It could be imagined that if the evil spirits could break through to the evil sovereign realm, then their battle strength would be comparable to Xietian and Jun Wuya. In the same realm, the evil spirits had not met many people who could fight with them. Counting it, there was only Wu Di in the past. Even Xiao Chun was a bit lacking. This was also why, although the evil spirits care about Xiao Chun, they had never treated him as a match. This was because the evil spirits could break through to the evil spirit realm, but Xiao Chun could not. Just based on this point, Xiao Chun was not their match. Xie Tian quickly ordered people to prepare the blood sacrifice array. Since the evil path took control of the heavenly palace, they had gathered quite a bit of blood energy. After all, there were quite a few cultivators in the heavenly palace, and now these cultivators had either been killed or joined the evil path. So, if the evil spirits wanted to break through, they did not need to worry about blood energy. They prepared to enter the blood sacrifice array to break through. Before this, the evil spirits still had a bit of hope for Xiao Chun, hoping that Xiao Chun could also improve. If those old fellows in the boundless world aren't fools, they should think of a way to increase Xiao Chun's strength. I hope they won't disappoint me. With this thought in mind, Phantasm directly entered secluded cultivation. He hoped that Xiao Chun's strength would also improve after he came out of secluded cultivation. Otherwise, Phantasm reckoned that he would no longer have any expectations for Xiao Chun. The boundless world did not know about the evil spirits' matters. Moreover, because the evil spirits had left, the battle in Leaping Tiger City had entered a stalemate. Many experts from both sides had gathered in Leaping Tiger City, and there were countless large and small battles. But no victory had been decided in the end. It could even be said that no one had gained an advantage. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Jun Wuya and Tenzu personally came to find Xiao Chun. Seeing that Xiao Chun's injuries had already healed, Jun Wuya softly said, "Are you ready?" Hearing this, Xiao Chun replied with a nod. Seeing that Xiao Chun was ready, Jun Wuya and Tenzu directly brought Xiao Chun out of the Moon Palace's encampment. The spiritual energy spring was not in the Great Thousand World, but in Tenzu's residence on a small island that was isolated from the rest of the world. This small island was where Tenzu had always lived. It was surrounded by void storms, and without the protection of an emperor, no one could reach it. This time, Tenzu and Jun Wuya personally escorted Xiao Chun to the spiritual energy spring. They did not encounter any danger along the way, and the three of them smoothly arrived at Tenzu's residence. Unlike the Great Thousand Realms, the place where the heavenly ancestor lived was still peaceful and tranquil. The people there were still repeating their daily lives. Looking at the small island in front of him, Xiao Chun felt like he had returned to his original state. The people here did not know what cultivation was and still maintained the most primitive way of life. Perhaps they did not know that there was a bigger world beyond this small island. "Let's go to the spiritual energy spring," Tenzu said directly at this time. Then, under the lead of the Sky Clan, the group came to the peak of a mountain. As they approached the peak, Xiao Chun could already feel that the spiritual energy was becoming more and more violent. At this time, Jun Wuya did not use his own spiritual energy to protect Xiao Chun. Instead, he let Xiao Chun feel the spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring himself. The spiritual energy spring was on the peak of this mountain. At this time, there was still a long distance between them, but the violent spiritual energy in the surroundings was already making Xiao Chun unable to hold on. This was the first time Xiao Chun had seen such violent spiritual energy. Moreover, in addition to the violent spiritual energy, there was also a trace of the strange power of law, which shocked Xiao Chun. The spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring is 100 times stronger than here. If you want to successfully cultivate in the spiritual energy spring, you have to withstand the violent spiritual energy. This process will be very painful. When they reach a place not far from the peak, Jun Wuya and Tenzu stopped at the same time and looked at Xiao Chun as they spoke. They could only send Xiao Chun up to this point. After that, they could only rely on Xiao Chun alone. After all, if Jun Wuya and Tenzu were to protect Xiao Chun throughout the process, it would not be of any help to Xiao Chun's cultivation. On the contrary, it would be harmful. Whether or not they could successfully reach the spiritual energy spring depended on whether or not Xiao Chun could withstand the violent spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring. If he could not withstand it, then, as Junwia said, not only would he not gain any benefits, but his life would also be in danger. Please add, please vote, please recommend. Chapter 2384. Junwia and Tenzu could only send Xiao Chen here. This place was already very close to the spiritual energy spring. If Junwia and Tenzu continued to move forward, it would cause the spiritual energy spring to go berserk. This would not benefit Xiao Chen at all. It might even cause Xiao Chen to be unable to refine the spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring. This spiritual energy spring actually had a trace of its own consciousness. Although it was very weak, it knew how to protect itself. Therefore, if Xiao Chen went alone, the spiritual energy spring would not go berserk. However, if Junwia and Tenzu went together, the spiritual energy spring would instinctively feel threatened and become even more berserk. Therefore, Junwia and Tenzu stopped here. Next, they could only rely on Xiao Chen. After hearing Junwia's words, Xiao Chen nodded. After all, Xiao Chen had already mentally prepared himself before coming here. He knew that Junwia and Tenzu would not always help him. How much benefit Xiao Chen could obtain from the spiritual energy spring this time would depend on himself. Xiao Chen nodded to Junwia and Tenzu, and then walked towards the spiritual energy spring. Looking at Xiao Chen's back, Junwia and Tenzu's expressions became extremely solemn. To be honest, the two of them were not sure if Xiao Chen could succeed. Although the spiritual energy spring was a peerless opportunity for anyone, it was also extremely dangerous. If Xiao Chen was unable to withstand the raging spirit qi, there was a possibility that he would die, not to mention that there would be no chance for him to gain anything. Step by step, Xiao Chen walked in the air. As he got closer to the spiritual energy spring, he could clearly feel that the spiritual energy around him was becoming more berserk. The spiritual qi, which was supposed to be gentle, was now as sharp as swords. Even Xiao Chen's own sword qi was probably slightly inferior. In the face of such violent world energy, Xiao Chen could only grit his teeth and endure. There was no other way. According to Junwia, if Xiao Chen wanted to succeed, the first step was to reach the spirit energy spring safely. If he couldn't even get close to the spirit energy spring, then it would be impossible for Xiao Chen to refine the rich spirit energy in the spirit energy spring. Therefore, even though every step was extremely difficult, Xiao Chen did not give up at all. He still forced himself to move forward. In the beginning, Xiao Chen's speed was not bad. However, as he got closer and closer to the spirit spring, Xiao Chen's speed slowed down. Every step he took was extremely difficult. Moreover, there were many wounds on his body, and blood continuously flowed out. He was still about 1,000 meters away from the spirit energy spring. This distance was actually just a step for Xiao Chen. However, this short distance of 1,000 meters was like a huge mountain, blocking Xiao Chen's footsteps. Every step he took was a huge consumption for Xiao Chen. Moreover, in the face of the berserk spiritual energy, Xiao Chen's own spiritual energy was completely useless. In other words, Xiao Chen could only use his physical body to resist the berserk spiritual energy. Xiao Chen could only rely on his physical strength to resist the spiritual qi, which undoubtedly increased the difficulty for him. After all, no matter how strong his physical body was, there was always a limit. Once this limit was exceeded, he was bound to be seriously injured, which was unavoidable. 1,000 meters, 900 meters. As Xiao Chen continued to move forward, he could clearly feel that Xiao Chen's physical body was constantly reaching its limit. When Xiao Chen reached 800 meters, his physical body had indeed reached its limit. It was already difficult to resist the berserk spiritual energy around him. Xiao Chen even couldn't help but feel that if he took another step forward, he would be torn into pieces. Xiao Chen didn't like this feeling. However, at this moment, it was so clear that it didn't seem fake at all. Give up or go all out? Xiao Chen was now faced with a difficult choice. His physical body had completely reached its limit. As a result, it was difficult to guess what the result would be if he continued to move forward. Even Xiao Chun himself didn't know. Various emotions constantly flashed through Xiao Chen's eyes, but in the end, a look of determination gradually appeared in his eyes. Since he was already here, how could he shrink back now? With Xiao Chen's character, he would never allow himself to shrink back at such time. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen clenched his fists and took a step forward. It was also with this step that the spiritual energy around Xiao Chen's body instantly broke through the critical point of his physical body. In an instant, an intense pain swept through Xiao Chen's entire body. The pain was heart-wrenching. After stepping into the celestial body stage with a tempered battle body, Xiao Chen couldn't remember how long it had been since he had experienced such pain. Of course, if it was just such intense pain, Xiao Chen could grit his teeth and endure it. However, along with the intense pain that swept through his entire body, Xiao Chen could clearly feel that his physical body was about to collapse. The violent spiritual energy around him had completely exceeded the limits of his physical body. As a result, Xiao Chen's physical body was already unable to withstand the spiritual energy. If he didn't retreat in time, he would probably be forcefully torn apart. Life and death were on the line. However, at this moment, Xiao Chen went completely crazy. Whether or not he could catch up to the evil spirits was Xiao Chen's only chance. If he couldn't succeed, Xiao Chen probably wouldn't be able to catch up to the evil spirits in a short period of time. Not to mention, the evil spirits had already entered the blood sacrifice formation and were preparing to break through. When the time came for them to break through to the end realm, Xiao Chen wouldn't be able to match up to them. Therefore, no matter what, he could only succeed. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen gritted his teeth and took a step forward with his other foot. Instantly, the violent spiritual energy caused Xiao Chen to spit out a mouthful of blood. The huge pressure and the spiritual energy that was as sharp as a blade seemed like it was going to tear Xiao Chen's body apart. Forcefully holding on to his last bit of consciousness, Xiao Chen gritted his teeth and persevered. However, under the assault of the violent spiritual energy, Xiao Chen gradually felt that his physical body was continuously becoming stronger. The violent spiritual energy could actually help him refine his physical body. Feeling this, although Xiao Chen was still in so much pain that he wished he was dead, he couldn't help but feel a trace of joy in his heart. There was always a way out. The improvement of his physical body allowed Xiao Chen to see a glimmer of hope. Although the speed of improvement was very slow, at least as his physical body continued to improve and strengthen, the pain that Xiao Chen had to endure also decreased slightly. Although this feeling was very subtle, Xiao Chen knew that this was his only chance. As long as his physical body could continue to become stronger, then he had hope of resisting this violent spiritual energy. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2385. Under the tempering of the violent spiritual energy, his physical body continued to improve. This discovery made Xiao Chen overjoyed. After all, as long as his physical body could improve, there was still hope for him. Xiao Chen endured the intense pain coming from his body. In fact, he did not need to take the initiative to cultivate his physical body. He only needed to endure the pain of being a cripple. The spiritual energy in the surroundings was still extremely violent. At the same time, Xiao Chen's physical body was also constantly strengthening. He was not in a hurry to continue moving forward. This was because although Xiao Chen's physical body was constantly improving, all of this still needed a process. With the current strength of Xiao Chen's physical body, it was still difficult to continue to withstand the attack of stronger spiritual energy. His physical body was strengthening, and Xiao Chen was also delighted to feel that his tempered battle body had begun to stir. The tempered battle body was a body tempering cultivation technique that Xiao Chen had obtained from the beginning. All along, the reason why Xiao Chen's physical body was so strong was all thanks to the tempered battle body. Even in the Great Thousand World, the tempered battle body was the strongest body tempering cultivation technique that Xiao Chen knew. At the very least, Xiao Chun had never seen a body-tempering cultivation technique that surpassed the tempered battle body. It was no exaggeration to say that the tempered battle body was indeed very strong. However, it was also very difficult to cultivate. Even though Xiao Chun was the sect master of the sword sect, after so many years, after consuming countless treasures, Xiao Chun's tempered battle body had only reached the peak of the third level of the celestial body realm. The tempered battle body was divided into a total of 4 levels. From the beginning, the golden armor realm, to the later levels, the jade organs realm and the celestial body realm. With every breakthrough, Xiao Chun's physical strength would undergo a qualitative leap. Unfortunately, after so many years, Xiao Chun still had no way to break through the 4th level of the undying realm. No matter how hard Xiao Chun tried, he did not succeed. In the end, the tempered battle body could be said to be almost motionless. There was no progress at all. But even so, Xiao Chun's physical strength was not inferior to any warrior of the same level with his tempered battle body in the celestial realm. Xiao Chun couldn't help but feel ecstatic when he sensed the tempered battle body becoming restless again. If he could break through the 4th stage of the imperishable realm, then Xiao Chun's physical attacks would be much stronger than they were now. Xiao Chun didn't expect the spiritual chi spring to have the effect of tempering the body. It even seemed to be able to help him improve the cultivation of his tempered battle body. This was something that Xiao Chun hadn't expected. Enduring the intense pain in his body, Xiao Chun was no longer in a hurry. He waited for his physical body to improve. After completely adapting to the current violent spiritual energy, Xiao Chun continued to move forward. In this way, Xiao Chun used the violent spiritual energy to temper his body while secretly feeling the changes in his tempered battle body. As a result, although Xiao Chun's speed became extremely slow, it was still a daunting experience. He walked step by step towards the spiritual chi spring. In the distance, although Jun Wuya and Tenzu didn't help Xiao Chun, they didn't leave either. Seeing that Xiao Chun's speed began to become abnormally slow when he was still a few hundred meters away from the spiritual chi spring, a hint of worry flashed in their eyes. It was obvious that Xiao Chun had now reached his limit. Facing the violent spiritual energy around him, Xiao Chun was indeed a little difficult to resist. But even so, Jun Wuya and Tenzu couldn't do anything. Once they did, Xiao Chun's previous efforts would be in vain. At first, they thought that Xiao Chun couldn't hold on any longer, but later, seeing that although Xiao Chun's progress was slow, at least he was still moving forward, the two of them couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Gradually, Tenzu also noticed that Xiao Chun's physical strength had changed. A hint of joy flashed in his eyes. This kid's physical body, with Tenzu's eyesight, it wasn't difficult for him to see that Xiao Chun's physical body had made great progress under the tempering of the violent spiritual energy in the spiritual chi spring. Compared to before, Xiao Chun's physical body was indeed much stronger. With the improvement of his physical body, Xiao Chun was also constantly breaking through his limits and getting closer and closer to the spiritual chi spring. Jun Wuya and Tenzu didn't expect that Xiao Chun would use the spiritual chi spring to temper his physical body. Moreover, it seemed that Xiao Chun had succeeded. For a moment, a glimmer of hope appeared in their eyes. It seemed that Xiao Chun could succeed. While the two of them were thinking about this, Xiao Chun had already arrived less than 100 meters away from the spiritual chi spring. From here, Xiao Chun could clearly see the spiritual chi spring. However, Xiao Chun had a feeling that it was difficult to make any further progress within this short distance of 100 meters. This was because the enhancement of his physical body seemed to have reached a bottleneck at this time, and he could not continue to improve at all. It was like a water tank that was already full of water. If you wanted to continue filling the tank, you would have to change to a bigger tank. Xiao Chun felt a little helpless that the improvement of his physical body had reached a bottleneck. Although his physical body had indeed improved a lot along the way, it was still not enough. He was only 100 meters away from reaching the spiritual chi spring, but his physical body had reached a bottleneck at this time. Just as Xiao Chun was at his wit's end, the tempered battle body suddenly became violent. The tempered battle body that had reached the limit of the third layer suddenly felt like it was about to break through. The tempered battle body was about to break through? Xiao Chun was overjoyed when he sensed that. If he was able to make a breakthrough in his tempered body, then his physical body would definitely be able to make a qualitative leap. By then, it would be easy for him to deal with the raging spirit qi around him. Xiao Chun allowed the violent spiritual qi around him to constantly invade his body. With the invasion of the violent spiritual qi, Xiao Chun could clearly feel that the tempered battle body had reached the critical point of a breakthrough. He wasn't in a hurry. Instead, he waited for everything to fall into place. After an unknown amount of time, Xiao Chun finally seemed to break through something in his body. At this moment, the tempered battle body finally entered the fourth layer of the indestructible realm. After the successful breakthrough, Xiao Chun only felt as if there was an endless amount of power in his body. Moreover, the previous injuries were quickly healed with the breakthrough of the tempered battle body. The wounds quickly disappeared, and the pressure from the violent spiritual qi around him also began to weaken rapidly. As if he was no longer afraid of the violent spiritual qi, Xiao Chun clenched his fists tightly. He couldn't help but smile. Is this the fourth layer of the indestructible realm? After so many years, I finally succeeded. He was overjoyed and murmured softly, begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. In a chapter. Chapter 2386. Xiao Chen's tempered battle body had finally broken through to the fourth level of the indestructible realm. According to the tempered battle body, once one stepped into the indestructible realm, one's physical body would be almost immortal. Xiao Chen's tempered battle body had finally broken through to the fourth level of the indestructible realm. According to the tempered battle body, once one stepped into the indestructible realm, one's physical body would be almost immortal. Not to mention regrowing a severed limb. Even if only a drop of blood was left, it would be enough to reconstruct a physical body. Of course, if that really happened, it would be extremely difficult and time-consuming to reconstruct a physical body. Even so, it was already terrifying enough. After all, Xiao Chun had never seen a body-refining technique that could regenerate from a drop of blood, other than the 100-tempered battle body, which could do this. Moreover, after Xiao Chun had broken through to the fourth level of the indestructible realm, his physical body had also undergone a qualitative leap. The violent spiritual qi that was originally difficult to resist was now nothing to Xiao Chun. The pressure instantly reduced. Although he could not ignore the violent spiritual qi, at least it was not too difficult to contend with it. Immediately, Xiao Chun took a step forward and walked directly toward the spiritual energy spring. With the tempered battle body at the fourth level of the indestructible realm, Xiao Chun was completely unafraid of the violent spiritual qi around him. In the distance, Jun Wuya and Tenzu looked at each other and saw a hint of joy in each other's eyes when they saw Xiao Chun walking directly toward the spiritual energy spring at a steady pace. With their eyesight, it was not difficult for them to see that Xiao Chen's physical body had obviously broken through. With the physical body after the breakthrough, Xiao Chun should have no problem entering the spiritual energy spring. Although this was only the first step, it was a good start no matter what. Let's go. We should also return to the Great Thousand World. This kid will probably take some time to come out of seclusion. After the surprise, Jun Wuya spoke first. Xiao Chun had successfully entered the spiritual energy spring, so it was meaningless for Jun Wuya and Tenzu to stay here. Everything would depend on Xiao Chen's ability. Moreover, the war in the Great Thousand World was not over yet, and the Battle of Leaping Tiger City was in a stalemate. Jun Wuya and Tenzu naturally could not stay here for long. After hearing Jun Wuya's words, Tenzu did not say anything. He nodded and left with Jun Wuya. Xiao Chun did not know that Jun Wuya and Tenzu had left. At this time, he had successfully entered the spiritual energy spring. There seemed to be a natural barrier around the spiritual energy spring. Outside the barrier, There was violent spiritual energy of heaven and earth that was difficult to resist like a knife. However, after successfully entering the spiritual energy spring, the violent spiritual energy instantly disappeared. It was completely different from the outside world. Looking at the spiritual energy spring in front of him, Xiao Chun felt the indescribable spiritual energy of heaven and earth around him. In this place, Xiao Chun seemed to only need to take a breath to improve his cultivation. There was no need for him to deliberately cultivate at all. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth in the spiritual energy spring was so rich that no one knew how to describe it. Just by standing there and doing nothing, Xiao Chun felt that his cultivation had improved. Looking at the bottomless spring in front of him, Xiao Chun could not help but jump in directly. This was the spiritual energy spring. Moreover, Xiao Chun was sure that the spiritual energy in the spring was even richer. It was far from being comparable to the spiritual energy spring outside. However, Xiao Chun suppressed the excitement in his heart because Jun Wuya had specifically reminded him that the spiritual energy spring was not a place that could be entered casually. With Xiao Chen's current cultivation, entering the spiritual energy spring was simply courting death. Therefore, Jun Wuya had warned Xiao Chen not to be impulsive and enter the spiritual energy spring directly. He would first cultivate outside the spring and make plans after his cultivation had broken through. He clearly remembered Jun Wuya's reminder, which was why Xiao Chen suppressed the excitement in his heart. He sat cross-legged beside the spiritual energy spring and started to cultivate. Even if he did not enter the spiritual energy spring, Xiao Chen could not help but feel delighted just by cultivating outside. The thick spiritual energy made Xiao Chen delighted. Compared to the spiritual energy spring, the other cultivation secret realms could be said to be trash. They could not be compared to the spiritual energy spring at all. He had just broken through to the small end realm. Under the thick spiritual energy in the spiritual energy spring, there was movement, and he started to head towards the end realm. Such thick spiritual energy, and it was also extremely pure. Xiao Chun did not even need to refine it, and could directly absorb it and turn it into his own spiritual energy. His level of training was increasing at a frightening rate. It was the first time Xiao Chun had ever experienced such a rate of increase. It was something he had never experienced before. Even Xiao Chun could not help but feel that cultivation was actually so simple. Indeed, cultivating in the spiritual energy spring made everything so simple. There was no need to worry at all. Xiao Chun was even sure that even if it was a pig, if you let it live around the spiritual energy spring for a long time, it would become a top monster. Thick and pure spiritual energy continuously entered Xiao Chen's body. Xiao Chun did not reject this spiritual energy. However, while Xiao Chun was cultivating, he did not notice that because he was crazily absorbing the spiritual energy around him, the spiritual energy spring was slowly weakening. This was the problem that Jun Wuya had mentioned before. Xiao Chun was training in the spirit chi spring. To put it simply, it was akin to cutting off the spirit chi spring. Although it was impossible for Xiao Chun to absorb all of the spiritual energy spring's spiritual energy with his cultivation, it was not a problem for him to absorb a part of it. Since this part of the spiritual energy was absorbed by Xiao Chun, it naturally led to the spiritual energy spring providing less spiritual energy to the world. If this spread out, the spiritual energy spring in the great wide world would become thinner and thinner. This was what Jun Wuya and Tenzi had expected, but they had no choice. In order to let Xiao Chun have the strength to contend with the evil spirits, they could only do this. A month quickly passed. During this month, the battle between the two sides around Leaping Tiger City did not seem to have any intention of stopping. From time to time, a big battle would break out, and small-scale conflicts could be seen at any time. However, after a month of fighting, everyone felt that there was a problem, and that was that the heaven and earth spirit chi seemed to have become thinner. Although the change was not too obvious, as cultivators, they were very sensitive to the changes in the spiritual energy spring in the world. Some people could not help but feel worried that the spiritual energy spring in the world was becoming thinner. However, The venerable sovereigns knew the reason, and they guessed that it was because of Xiao Chun. Therefore, the venerable sovereigns did not care too much about it. Of course, they did not tell the others about it either. They just told them not to worry. Please collect, vote, recommend. Chapter 2387. The decrease in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth had indeed made many people worried, but they were only slightly worried. After all, the most important issue in front of them now was the battle between the good and evil. The decrease in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth had indeed made many people worried, but they were only slightly worried. After all, the most important issue in front of them now was the battle between the good and evil. Compared to the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, the battle between the good and evil was obviously more important. Once they were defeated, they might not even be able to survive, let alone the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Therefore, the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was quickly ignored by everyone, and they continued to focus on the battle in Leaping Tiger City. After another big battle, it was still difficult to determine the winner. However, as the casualties on both sides became more and more serious, both the Evil Path and the Great Thousand World constantly mobilized more powerhouses to Leaping Tiger City. There was no other way, as Leaping Tiger City would definitely not give in. Regardless of whether it was the Evil Path or the Great Thousand World, Leaping Tiger City was too important, and they would not give in at all. After the battle ended, Dao Ju, Xiao Xiao, Li Chun, and the other geniuses gathered together to chat while recuperating from their injuries. Without the abnormal evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others would not be in any danger. Although they were injured, their injuries were not serious. At the thought of the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others felt powerless. Only God knew how the evil spirits could be in the evil path. With their strength, even Dao Ju and the others could not help but admit defeat. Previously, Dao Ju, Xiao Xiao, and Li Chun were almost killed by the evil spirits. If Xiao Chun had not arrived in time, the three of them would have been killed by the evil spirits. Fortunately, the evil spirits did not seem to be in Leaping Tiger City during this period. This was because it had been almost 3 months and the evil spirits did not appear. This allowed Dao Ju and the others to heave a sigh of relief. Since the evil spirits were not around, Xiao Chun had also gone to the spiritual energy spring to cultivate. Dao Ju and the others naturally knew that Xiao Chun had gone to the spiritual energy spring. After all, as geniuses, they definitely knew many secrets that others did not know. They also knew very well that the reason why Tenzu agreed to let Xiao Chun go to the spiritual energy spring to cultivate was so that Xiao Chun would have the strength to contend with the evil spirits. After all, based on the current situation in the Great Thousand World, only Xiao Chun had the potential to grow to the point where he could rival the evil spirits. It could be said that Tenzu had placed all his bets on Xiao Chun. If Xiao Chun did not succeed, the evil spirits would definitely be a headache for the Great Thousand World. This was because until now, no one else could stop the evil spirits. Even Dao Ju and the other two were not a match for the evil spirits, let alone others. It's already been 3 months. I wonder how Brother Xiao Chun is doing now. Dao Ju sighed helplessly. Unknowingly, the gap between them had been widened by Xiao Chun. Dao Ju was naturally a little unwilling, but this was the truth. There was nothing he could do about it. Moreover, Xiao Chun was now the only hope of the Great Thousand World. Therefore, even though Dao Ju was unwilling, he sincerely hoped that Xiao Chun could succeed. Upon hearing Dao Ju's words, Li Chun also sighed. No matter what, Brother Xiao Chun's strength has now surpassed ours. All we can do is hope that Brother Xiao Chun can succeed. Li Chun was very clear about the battle between Xiao Chun and the evil spirits. Although they were geniuses, they couldn't interfere. The strength of Xiao Chun and the evil spirits had long surpassed theirs. It wasn't something they could fight against. There was no news from Xiao Chun's side, and it was the same for the evil spirits. However, at this moment, within the blood sacrifice formation in the evil god palace, the evil spirits were sitting cross-legged with their eyes closed. The aura they emitted was much stronger than 3 months ago. They had already reached the limit of the end realm. After 3 months of cultivation, the evil spirits had broken through to the end realm. However, this wasn't strange. After all, with the foundation of the evil spirits, it wasn't difficult for them to break through to the end realm. It could even be said that it was very simple. Of course, Phantasm's goal wasn't as simple as breaking through to the peak of the end realm. With the help of his rich blood chi, Phantasm's cultivation base had reached the peak of the end realm within 3 months. They were only a step away from the Emperor realm. Looking at the current state of the evil spirits, it was obvious that they were planning to break through to the Emperor realm and become the evil lord. To break through to the evil lord in one go, one had to say that the choice of the evil spirits was indeed shocking. Breaking through to the end realm wasn't difficult for the evil spirits. However, to break through to the evil lord, it wasn't so simple. Even if the evil spirits were heaven-defying, it wasn't so easy to become the evil lord. Moreover, this time, the evil spirits wanted to break through 2 realms, one of which was a large realm. The difficulty of this was self-evident. However, this was what the evil spirits were planning. After completely stabilizing their end realm cultivation, the evil spirits directly started to break through to the evil lord position without any hesitation. The evil spirits never doubted themselves, nor did they look down on themselves. As the evil spirits started to try to break through to the evil lord position, the blood energy in the surroundings also continuously gathered towards the evil spirits. All of a sudden, the evil spirits were surrounded by a dense blood energy. Time passed bit by bit, and another month passed. It had been a total of 4 months since the evil spirits went into seclusion. During these 4 months, Yang Chun naturally stayed in the evil god palace. He was originally a member of the evil spirits. Since the evil spirits were in seclusion, Yang Chun could only wait in the evil god palace. In 4 months, the evil spirits didn't show any signs of coming out of seclusion. Yang Chun couldn't help but feel worried. According to his understanding of the evil spirits didn't need such a long time to break through to the end realm. They should have broken through long ago. In the Phantasm's residence, Yang Chun was cultivating in the courtyard as usual. Every now and then, he would glance in the direction of the blood sacrifice grand formation and let out a sigh. There shouldn't be any mishaps, right? Yang Chun was worried that something might have happened to the evil spirits. However, he felt that it was impossible. Breaking through to the end realm wouldn't cause any accidents to happen to the evil spirits. Just as Yang Chun finished speaking, the direction of the blood sacrifice formation suddenly changed. The blood energy that filled the sky started to slowly dissipate. The dissipation of the blood energy was the limit of the blood sacrifice formation. Once the blood sacrifice formation closed, it meant that the evil spirits were about to come out. Yang Chun didn't dare to delay. With a flash, he quickly arrived outside the blood sacrifice formation. Looking at the dissipating blood energy, Yang Chun waited patiently. In 4 months, the evil spirits came out of seclusion. Yang Chun didn't know how strong the evil spirits were now. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2388. The blood aura slowly dissipated, and under Yang Chen's gaze, the evil spirits slowly walked out of the blood sacrifice formation. The evil spirits did not change much after 4 months, but in Yang Chen's eyes, the evil spirits now had a different aura. Of course, Yang Chun also secretly sensed the evil spirit's current cultivation base, but to his surprise, he found that he had no way of accurately sensing the evil spirit's current cultivation base. In 4 months, Yang Chun simply did not know what cultivation base the evil spirits had reached. Regarding this, Yang Chun was shocked. Looking at Yang Chun, who was already waiting outside the blood sacrifice formation, the evil spirits were not surprised and said indifferently, "How is it? Did anything happen recently?" After 4 months of seclusion, the evil spirits naturally did not know anything about the outside world. Regarding this, Yang Chun did not hide anything and truthfully told the evil spirits everything that had happened in the past 4 months. In fact, nothing much had happened in the past 4 months. The battle in Leaping Tiger City was still undecided, and the evil path and the Great Thousand World were still locked in a fierce battle. It could be said that the focus of the battle was still in Leaping Tiger City, and nothing had changed. The only strange thing was the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. While listening to Yang Chen's narration, the two evil spirits slowly walked toward their residence. After finishing, the evil spirits nodded slightly, and Yang Chun could not help but ask, "Xie, your current cultivation base." Yang Chun could not see through the evil spirit's current cultivation base, so he couldn't help but ask curiously. In response, the evil spirit smiled and said, "I almost broke through to the evil lord level, but unfortunately I failed." In response to Yang Chen's question, the evil spirits did not hide anything. Currently, their cultivation base was indeed at the half-step evil lord level. Originally, the evil spirits intended to break through to the evil lord level, but unfortunately, they failed. The evil spirits had underestimated the difficulty of breaking through to the evil dominator realm. They had thought that with their foundation and talent, it would not be difficult to break through to the evil dominator realm. Who would have thought that they would fail in the end? However, although they failed, the evil spirits were already 1 foot out of the end realm and could be considered half a step into the evil sovereign realm. Moreover, with the evil spirits' heaven-defying battle strength and the half-step evil sovereign's cultivation, they could probably fight a real evil sovereign for a while. Victory might not be certain, but they would at least have the ability to protect themselves. Hearing the evil spirit's words, Yang Chun was stunned. He didn't expect that the evil spirits had already reached half-step evil spirits. They were both from a younger generation, but the evil spirits were already on the verge of becoming evil spirits. This kind of cultivation speed shocked Yang Chun. This time, the evil spirits went into seclusion to cultivate. Yang Chun thought that the evil spirits were only trying to break through to the end realm, but who would have thought that the evil spirits would reach half-step evil sovereign realm in one go? With half-step evil sovereign realm cultivation, the evil spirits could be said to not fear the evil sovereigns and emperors. Even if they couldn't beat them, they could at least protect themselves. Looking at the entire world, there was probably only Jun Wuya who could threaten the evil spirits. Following beside the evil spirits, Yang Chun did not speak for a long time. His heart was filled with incomparable shock. Regarding this, the evil spirits did not say anything. The half-step evil sovereigns did not make the evil spirits feel proud. They could not even break through to the evil sovereign realm. This made the evil spirits feel helpless in their hearts. Returning to their residence, the evil spirits rested for a day. The next morning, they were summoned by Xie Tian. They brought Yang Chun to Xie Tian's cave and saw that Xie Tian was already sitting in the courtyard waiting for them. The evil spirits and Yang Chun respectfully bowed. "Father, Sir Evil God." Seeing the two of them come over, Xie Tian revealed a faint smile. He waved his hand to the evil spirits and signaled for the evil spirits to sit beside him. In response, the evil spirits also sat beside Xie Tian. Seeing the evil spirits in closed-door cultivation for 4 months, Xie Tian nodded with a faint smile. Although the evil spirits had not broken through to the evil sovereign realm, their current strength had increased by leaps and bounds compared to 4 months ago. They cannot be compared at all. With a smile on his face, Xie Tian softly said, "Ming'er, the war in Leaping Tiger City has lasted for half a year. It's time to end it." After the evil spirits came out of closed-door cultivation, Xie Tian wanted the evil spirits to head to Leaping Tiger City and completely end the war in Leaping Tiger City. Of course, Xie Tian would also go with them since Jun Wuya was currently in Leaping Tiger City. Without Xie Tian making a move, it would be hard for the others to stop Jun Wuya. Hearing Xie Tian's words, the evil spirits were not surprised. The war in Leaping Tiger City had indeed been in a deadlock for too long. When they were in closed-door cultivation, Xie Tian did not make a move. Now that they were out and their strength had increased by a large amount, Xietian wanted to end the war in Leaping Tiger City as soon as possible. Based on the current situation, the Evil Path and the Great Thousand World were evenly matched in Leaping Tiger City. The Emperor Realm, the Evil Sovereign Realm, and the many martial artists under them, there was not much of a difference between the two sides. Even after the war had developed to this point, and there had been countless large and small battles, neither side had gained an advantage. In this kind of situation, the appearance of the evil spirits was without a doubt enough to break this deadlock. First, the evil spirits were not weaker than the evil sovereigns. If there were more evil sovereigns, it would definitely be a large blow to the Great Thousand World. Not to mention that with the Great Thousand World's current strength, there was no one who could stop the evil spirits. Adding in the fact that Xietian was personally making a move, Junwia had no way of escaping. Like this, the evil spirits were existences that no one could stop. Hearing Xietian's words, the evil spirits did not hesitate as they nodded and replied, "All right, this child will immediately head to Leaping Tiger City." Going to Leaping Tiger City this time, the evil spirits would not stop as easily as last time. Of course, the evil spirits still had a trace of expectation for Xiao Chun. However, if Xiao Chun did not make any progress in these 4 months, the evil spirits would directly kill him this time. Hearing the evil spirit's words, Xietian revealed a faint smile and said, "Ming'er, you should control your temper a bit. The importance of Leaping Tiger City is self-evident. Father will not blame you for being willful. However, Leaping Tiger City must be in our hands. Do you understand?" Xietian was very clear on the personality of the evil spirits. They could be considered willful to the extreme, completely relying on their own preferences, so he specially warned them. No matter what, taking Leaping Tiger City first and defeating the Great Thousand World was the most important thing. So, Xietian hoped that in the Battle of Leaping Tiger City, the evil spirits would restrain their willfulness. They would not act like last time, letting go of Xiao Chun, Dao Ju, and the other Heaven's Pride monsters just because of their own preferences. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2389. Hearing Xietian's special instructions, although the evil spirits were a bit speechless, they still nodded in agreement. The evil spirits were very clear on their father's personality. In normal situations, Xietian rarely spoke to them like this. Even since they were young, Xietian had always turned a blind eye to their arrogance and willfulness. Now that Xietian had specially instructed them like this, there was only one possibility. It was that Xietian did not want to drag this out any longer. The battle in Leaping Tiger City had already lasted for half a year. During this time, in order to take down Leaping Tiger City, the Great Thousand World had indeed suffered heavy casualties and paid quite a large price. But at the same time, the evil path was also the same. Leaping Tiger City was like a giant millstone that had already made both sides pay a heavy price, but both sides still had no plans of stopping. If the battle in Leaping Tiger City continued like this, there would be even more people from both sides that would die here. The price was too heavy, so Xietian had already made his decision to end the battle in Leaping Tiger City as soon as possible. At the same time, he wanted the Great Thousand World to pay a heavy price. Nodding, the evil spirits agreed. Seeing this, Xietian revealed a faint smile and said, "That's good. Prepare yourself and head to Leaping Tiger City." The evil spirits did not stay for long, and the evil spirits did not say anything about this. They just nodded and left with Yang Chun. Since Xietian had already spoken, the evil spirits could not act like last time and do as they pleased. No matter what, they had to defeat the Great Thousand World and make them give up on attacking Leaping Tiger City. Without wasting any time, the evil spirits and Yang Chun left the evil God Palace on the same day, heading towards Leaping Tiger City. As for Xietian, he did not go with the evil spirits. With the speed of the evil spirits, it did not take long for them to reach Leaping Tiger City from the evil God Palace. It just so happened that in Leaping Tiger City, The Evil Path and the Great Thousand World had just finished a large-scale battle, and both sides were currently in a truce. The arrival of the evil spirits was naturally immediately known to Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns. Honestly speaking, Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns were indeed having a headache recently. Due to the fact that the battle in Leaping Tiger City had yet to come to a conclusion, they felt somewhat helpless. They wanted to defeat the great wide world, but there was nothing they could do. Moreover, it was impossible for them to give up on Leaping Tiger City. As such, both sides could only remain in a stalemate. In the main hall of the City Lord Mansion, the evil spirits strode in with Yang Chun. Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns were already waiting for them. When they saw the evil spirits, Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns were stunned. Obviously, they could feel the change in Yin Tong. In 4 months, Yin Tong had changed a lot, and his cultivation. He had broken through from the small completion end realm to the half-step evil venerable realm. Although he hadn't truly broken through to the evil exalt realm, with the strength of the evil spirits, Yin Tong and the others didn't doubt that the evil spirits were no different from an evil exalt. The difference of half a step was something that the evil spirits could use their heaven-defying strength to make up for. No one would have thought that Xian Ming would improve so much in just a short 4 months, going from the small perfection end realm to the half-step evil sovereign realm. After being stunned for a moment, Yin Tong was the first to come back to his senses. He bowed to the evil spirits and congratulated them. Xie, congratulations on your breakthrough. The evil spirits breaking through is naturally a good thing for the evil path. Regarding this, the evil spirits didn't care too much. They smiled and said, Uncle Yin, you praise me too much. Although the evil spirits didn't need to listen to the orders of Yin Tong and the others, the evil spirits were still very polite to the venerable emperors. After exchanging a few pleasantries, everyone walked into the hall. Then the evil spirits told them their reason for coming. Of course, they also told them about Xie Tian's instructions. Moreover, according to what the evil spirits said, this time they came here to listen to the orders of the evil exalts. They wouldn't do things according to their own preferences like last time. Hearing the evil spirits' words, Yin Tong and the evil exalts were filled with joy. If the evil spirits could really listen to orders, it would be a good thing for them. It had to be known that the evil spirits were not weaker than the evil exalts. If they were properly arranged, they could make the Great Thousand World suffer a large loss. An evil exalt that no one could stop, the consequences were terrifying just thinking about it. Immediately, Yin Tong said with a smile, Good. With Xie help, our confidence has greatly increased. We will definitely win this battle. The arrival of the phantasms put Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns in a much better mood. Of course, what made them even more excited was that this time, the phantasms would completely obey their orders, instead of acting on their own whims like before. This was the most delightful thing for them. After all, although the evil spirits were strong, they were also very willful. The evil exalts couldn't do anything to them, but they didn't need to worry this time. After the joy passed, Yin Tong looked at the evil spirits and said, Xie, since things are like this, I won't be polite. In the following battle, I hope that Xie can kill all the heaven's prides and monsters of the Great Thousand World. Yin Tong didn't mince his words. The evil spirits were strong, but Yin Tong didn't have the confidence to let them deal with the emperors. Therefore, it was better to let the evil spirits do something that they had more confidence in. In the Great Thousand World, besides the evil exalts, the heaven's prides and monsters had the highest status. If the evil spirits could kill all the heaven's prides and monsters of the Great Thousand World, it would definitely be a huge blow to the Great Thousand World. Not only would it be a blow to the morale, but it would also be a huge blow to the strength of the Great Thousand World. After hearing Yin Tong's words, the evil spirits didn't hesitate and immediately nodded in response. I will do whatever Uncle Yin says. The evil spirits were very obedient this time. In response, Yin Tong smiled and nodded, feeling more confident in his heart. In Yin Tong's opinion, with the strength of the evil spirits, it wouldn't be too difficult for them to kill the heaven's prides and monsters of the great thousand world. After the discussion, the evil spirits and Yang Chun stayed in Leaping Tiger City, while Yin Tong and the other evil exalts began to plan the next battle. Originally, both sides had just gone through a big battle, and it was obviously not suitable for a large-scale battle at this time. However, it was different now. The arrival of the evil spirits gave Yin Tong and the others hope. As long as the evil spirits could kill the heaven's prides and monsters of the great thousand world, it would be a great victory for the evil path. Therefore, in a short 3 days, under the planning of Yin Tong and the others, the evil path and the great thousand world once again broke out in a large-scale battle. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2390. The arrival of the evil spirits filled Yin Tong with confidence. After discussing with the evil spirits, Yin Tong's goal was very clear. He wanted the evil spirits to kill all the geniuses of the great thousand world. The arrival of the evil spirits filled Yin Tong with confidence. After discussing with the evil spirits, Yin Tong's goal was very clear. He wanted the evil spirits to kill all the geniuses of the great thousand world. Therefore, after a short 3 days of rest, the evil way launched another attack on the great thousand world under Yin Tong's leadership. The great thousand world naturally could not retreat in the face of the evil way's attack. After being in a stalemate for so long and suffering so many casualties, if they retreated now, it would be a huge loss for the great thousand world because Leaping Tiger City was still in the hands of the evil way. Since they could not retreat, they could only fight. The two sides once again broke out in a fierce battle outside Leaping Tiger City. Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns naturally fought fiercely with Dao Xiong, Tenzu, and the other sovereigns. The battle was still in a stalemate, but this time, Yin Tong was not in a hurry. While delaying Tenzu, who was fighting fiercely with him, Yin Tong secretly paid attention to the battle below. Dao Ju, Xiao Xiao, Li Chun, and the other geniuses also joined the battle. When Yin Tong saw the geniuses of the great thousand world appear, a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He was waiting for them. While Yin Tong was secretly rejoicing, the evil spirits also appeared on the battlefield. Their target was Dao Ju and the others. Along the way, the cultivators of the great thousand world were no match for the evil spirits. They could not even stop them. Soon, the evil spirits arrived in front of Dao Ju and the others. When they saw the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others' faces darkened. They did not expect the evil spirits to appear again after not seeing them for 4 months. Previously, Dao Ju and the others had a great battle with the evil spirits. They were very clear about the strength of the evil spirits. Now that they met again, they did not dare to underestimate them. On the other hand, the evil spirits only glanced at Dao Ju and the others before completely losing interest. Compared to 4 months ago, Dao Ju and the others did not make much progress. Their cultivation was still at the end realm. Although they were not far from breaking through to the small end realm, in the eyes of the evil spirits, they were still weak. Dao Ju and the others. Dao Ju and the others' improvement was too slow. 4 months ago, the evil spirits, who were only at the small end realm, were able to crush Dao Ju and the others. Now, the evil spirits, who were already half-step evil sovereigns, did not care about Dao Ju and the others at all. Weak, they were too weak. Even so, the evil spirits had no intention of leaving. After all, the evil spirits' goal in coming to Leaping Tiger City was very clear. They wanted to end the war in Leaping Tiger City and defeat the great thousand world. Therefore, even if they were not interested in Dao Ju and the others, the evil spirits were still prepared to attack. They looked at the evil spirits with fear. Under the gaze of Dao Ju and the others, the evil spirits chose to attack without any warning. Moreover, they used a killing move right away. The evil spirits pointed out a finger and a blood energy shot towards Dao Ju at lightning speed. It was so fast that Dao Ju did not even have time to react. It was just a casual attack, but in Dao Ju's eyes, it was so terrifying. His instincts told him that he could not take this attack head-on. He instinctively dodged, but in the end, his shoulder was still pierced by the blood energy. Although he avoided the vital parts, just this finger alone caused Dao Ju to suffer heavy injuries. Without caring about the injuries on his body, Dao Ju looked at the evil spirits in shock and said, "You, how is this possible?" Dao Ju could not believe that the evil spirits had become so strong in just 4 months. From the evil spirit's aura, Dao Ju could tell that he was no longer at the small end realm. In fact, from the evil spirit's aura, Dao Ju could feel that it was similar to an Emperor Realm mission. He broke through to the Emperor Realm? Dao Ju looked at the evil spirits in disbelief. If the evil spirits had really broken through to the Emperor Realm in just 4 months, what kind of concept was that? Wasn't it a little too terrifying? Dao Ju did not dare and was not willing to believe that the evil spirits had broken through to the End Realm in just 4 months and became evil sovereigns. Dao Ju could not tell that the evil spirits were now half-step evil sovereigns. However, as the evil spirits attacked, Tenzu, who was fighting with Yin Tong in the sky, had a huge change in expression. From the start of the battle until now, Yin Tong had been acting a little strange, and this had attracted Tenzu's attention. Therefore, Tenzu had been secretly paying attention to the battle below. When the evil spirits appeared, Tenzu had already guessed what Yin Tong was thinking. This guy had obviously set his sights on Dao Ju and the other geniuses. Therefore, when he was fighting with Tenzu, he did not seem to be in a hurry. Now, the strength that the evil spirits had displayed stunned Tenzu. Half-step evil sovereigns, they were indeed half-step evil sovereigns. He did not expect the evil spirits to be so terrifying. With the cultivation of a half-step evil sovereign, coupled with the evil spirit's heaven-defying fighting strength, Tenzu did not doubt that Dao Ju and the others were no match for them. For a moment, Tenzu's heart was burning with anxiety. On the other side, Yin Tong, who was laughing coldly in his heart, said, "Old man, don't make any more pointless struggles. Today, no one can save those little things." The emperors of the Great Thousand World were already being held back by Yin Tong and the others. Apart from the emperors, who else could stop the evil spirits? So in Yin Tong's eyes, Dao Ju and the others were already dead without a doubt. Asking the same question to Yin Tong, Tenzu slightly knit his brows and his heart sunk. At the same time, the evil spirits had already made their move, targeting Dao Ju again. It was very clear that the evil spirits wanted to kill this time. They were determined to kill Dao Ju and the others. When the evil spirits were about to make their move again, Jun Wuya finally appeared. If Xie Tian did not appear, Jun Wuya was not willing to make a move. After all, Xie Tian was the biggest threat. However, with the current situation, Jun Wuya could not just stand by and watch. Otherwise, Dao Ju and the others might really be killed by the evil spirits today. Blocking the evil spirit's attack for Dao Ju. But before Jun Wuya could make a move, Xie Tian's figure appeared in front of Jun Wuya, blocking Jun Wuya's path. With your status, making a move against a junior, don't you think it's lowering your status? Xie Tian appeared with a cold smile on his face. Jun Wuya had successfully blocked an attack for Dao Ju, but Xie Tian had also appeared at this time. Jun Wuya could protect Dao Ju for now, but what could he do now? With Xie Tian blocking him, Jun Wuya had no way of taking care of Dao Ju and the others. The evil spirits indifferently looked at Jun Wuya, but they did not say anything. They turned back to look at Dao Ju and softly said, "I don't think there is anyone who can save you today. Please add, please vote, please recommend." Chapter 2391. Although Jun Wuya had appeared in time and successfully blocked the evil spirit's killing blow for Dao Ju, now that Jun Wuya was being held back by Xie Tian, how were Dao Ju and the others supposed to deal with this? Obviously, it was impossible for them to contend against the phantasms with their own strength. The phantasms, who were half-step evil sovereigns, were no longer something that Saber Extinction and the others could handle. So, when they heard the words of the evil spirits, the faces of Dao Ju and the others sunk. At the same time, Dao Xiong's voice came from the sky. Run. The sovereigns had been secretly watching the battle between the evil spirits and Dao Ju and the others. The strength that the evil spirits had displayed had shocked the sovereigns. At the same time, they knew that the strength of Dao Ju and the others was not enough to fight against the evil spirits. So, Dao Xiong did not hesitate and told Dao Ju and the others to run. If they continued to fight with the evil spirits here, Dao Ju and the others would only die. As for the sovereigns, they had no way of helping them. Hearing Dao Xiong's words, Dao Ju and the others did not hesitate and turned to run. Seeing this, the evil spirits revealed a cold smile. Can you run? Facing the evil spirits, the best choice for Dao Ju and the others was to run. However, this time, the evil spirits would not just watch as Dao Ju and the others left. However, when the evil spirits were about to chase after Dao Ju and the others, the End Realm experts of the various major powers all moved to stop them. They were very clear that if Dao Ju and the others were killed by the evil spirits, it would be a huge blow to the Great Thousand World. So, even though they knew that they were not a match for Dao Ju, the experts of the various major powers still did not fear death and stopped the evil spirits. This did buy some time for Dao Ju and the others to escape. However, what happened next was needless to say. These experts from the major sects were no match for the phantasms, and they were all slaughtered in no time. With the strength of the evil spirits, it was not difficult for them to kill these ordinary End Realm experts. Moreover, if these End Realm experts wanted to stop the evil spirits, they did not have the slightest chance and could only delay them for a short while. However, Dao Ju and the others did succeed in escaping. However, because of the existence of the evil spirits, the situation of the battle became more and more unfavorable for the Great Thousand World. After all, the evil spirits had the combat strength comparable to the evil sovereign. Without anyone stopping them, no one in the Great Thousand World could deal with them. The threat that the evil spirits posed could be said to be an existence that could destroy the heavens and the earth. Just by the evil spirits alone, the Great Thousand World suffered heavy casualties. Regarding this, although Junhua, Tenzu, and the other emperors were furious, there was nothing they could do. This was because they could not free themselves to deal with the evil spirits. In the end, after a fierce battle, the Great Thousand World side took the initiative to retreat. It could be said that this was the first time the Great Thousand World side had suffered such a great loss since the fierce battle in Leaping Tiger City. And this loss was entirely because of the phantasms. Because no one could fight against the evil spirits, many people in the Great Thousand World died in the hands of the evil spirits. This was the first time the Great Thousand World suffered a loss at the hands of the evil spirits. Of course, this matter was obviously not over yet. The evil spirits, who had tasted the sweetness of victory, would not give the Great Thousand World too much time to breathe. After all, they wanted to defeat the Great Thousand World in one fell swoop. At the very least, they had to pursue the victory and completely end the battle in Leaping Tiger City. As expected, after a short 3 days, the evil spirits launched another large-scale attack. Regarding this, the Great Thousand World could not do anything and could only brace themselves to fight. The situation could be said to be exactly the same as before. The evil spirits were still going on a killing spree, while the geniuses like Dao Ju did not dare to show themselves. This was also the intention of the various sovereigns. They knew very well that the real goal of the evil spirits was to kill Dao Ju and the other geniuses. Therefore, once Dao Ju and the others showed themselves, they would definitely be hunted down by the evil spirits. And if any accident happened and the geniuses died, it would definitely be an unbearable loss for the Great Thousand World. Therefore, in desperation, the various sovereigns could only ask Dao Ju and the others not to participate in the battle. However, even so, the existence of the evil spirits was still a headache for the Great Thousand World. This was because the number of experts from the Great Thousand World who died in the hands of the evil spirits was already uncountable. This was especially so for the End Realm experts. When faced with the evil spirits, they did not have the slightest ability to fight back and were easily killed by the evil spirits. They bitterly persevered and kept looking for a way to deal with the evil spirits. However, in the end, there was no good way to deal with them. In the past month, the evil spirits had repeatedly launched attacks on the Great Thousand World. Almost every time, the Great Thousand World was defeated. As a junior, the evil spirits were like a knife that was stabbed into the heart of the Great Thousand World. If they did not deal with the evil spirits, it would indeed be difficult for the Great Thousand World to contend with the evil spirits. Damn that evil spirit brat. If I have the chance, I will personally kill him. After a big battle, the various sovereigns gathered together to discuss how to deal with the evil spirits. Dao Xiong was even more furious as he cursed. The evil spirits had indeed become an existence that the Great Thousand World found difficult to deal with. Moreover, if they did not deal with the evil spirits, it would be difficult for the Great Thousand World to gain any advantage in the battle against the evil spirits. Hearing Dao Xiong's angry curses, the other sovereigns' faces turned gloomy. In the past month, too many people had died at the hands of the evil spirits. However, the sovereigns could not do anything about it. Looking at the jealous and gloomy faces of the sovereigns, Junwei and Tenzu also had heavy hearts. In their hearts, there was still one hope, and this hope was Shao Chun. Shao Chun, who was cultivating in the spiritual energy spring. The evil spirit's plan could not be more obvious. It was to stall the sovereigns and then let the evil spirits deal with the ordinary warriors of the Great Thousand World. Therefore, if there was anyone in the Great Thousand World who could contend with the evil spirits, it would be Shao Chun. However, they did not know what was going on with Shao Chun, who was cultivating in the spiritual energy spring, and how much his cultivation had improved. As the war was urgent, Junwei and Tenzin naturally could not leave Leaping Tiger City to check on the spiritual energy spring. However, just as the two of them thought of Shao Chun, Junwei and Tenzu's faces suddenly changed. They looked at each other and saw a trace of joy in each other's eyes. Just now, there was a movement in the spiritual energy spring. Shao Chun had come out of seclusion. Junwei and Tenzu were naturally ecstatic about this news. After all, Shao Chun had come out of seclusion, so the Great Thousand World had someone to deal with the evil spirits. However, they still did not know how far Shao Chun had cultivated. After all, the evil spirits were now half-step evil sovereigns. Please collect, vote, recommend. End of chapter. Chapter 2392. Junwei and Tenzu couldn't help but feel delighted when they heard the commotion from the spiritual energy spring. This was because, as of now, Shao Chun was the only one who had a chance of fighting against the evil spirits. Junwei and Tenzu couldn't help but feel delighted when they heard the commotion from the spiritual energy spring. This was because, as of now, Shao Chun was the only one who had a chance of fighting against the evil spirits. Moreover, the reason why Junwei and Tenzu had persisted and refused to take a step back was because of Shao Chun. If Shao Chun could succeed, then his strength would definitely increase greatly. At that time, perhaps a miracle would appear. After a full 5 months, Shao Chun finally came out of seclusion. Junwei and Tenzu were naturally delighted about this. However, apart from joy, the two of them were also a little worried. After all, the evil spirits had improved too much this time. It could even be said that it had exceeded Junwei and Tenzu's expectations. They originally thought that the evil spirits would at most break through to the End Realm Great Perfection. However, who knew that not only did the evil spirits break through to the End Realm Great Perfection, they even charged into the Evil Sovereign Realm, reaching the half-step Evil Sovereign Realm. The evil spirits had such a huge improvement. This way, if Shao Chun only broke through to the End Realm Great Perfection, he still wouldn't be a match for the evil spirits. He wouldn't even be able to fight against them. From the strength that the evil spirits had displayed in this month, Jun Wuya and Tenzu didn't think that anyone could surpass their realm and defeat the evil spirits. With the strength of the evil spirits, it was simply impossible for them to surpass their realm and defeat him. Perhaps if they were at the same realm, Xiao Chun would have the qualifications to fight against them. However, if there was a difference in realm, then it was obviously impossible. However, when Xiao Chun entered the spiritual energy spring, he was only at the end realm great perfection. With Xiao Chen's foundation, could he break through to the half-step emperor realm in a short 5 months like the evil spirits? The probability was very small. Therefore, apart from being delighted, Junwei and Tenzu were also secretly worried. However, everything would have to wait until Xiao Chen returned. They didn't have the intention of going to receive Xiao Chen. After all, the battle at Huyue City had entered the most crucial moment. Junwei and Tenzu were unable to leave. There was no way they could leave. Fortunately, Junwei had told Xiao Chen beforehand that he would return to the vast thousand world on his own after coming out of seclusion. He had also told Xiao Chen the route, so it would not take long for Xiao Chen to return successfully. However, they didn't need to worry about that. What they needed to worry about now was how much Xiao Chen had improved during the seclusion and whether or not he had the ability to fight against the evil spirits. If Xiao Chen's cultivation had only broken through to the end realm great perfection, then probably no one in the Great Thousand World would be able to fight against the evil spirits. They were a little expectant and a little worried. However, everything could only wait for Xiao Chen to return. While Junwei and the Heavenly Ancestor were secretly anticipating and worried, Xiao Chen slowly walked out of the Spirit Chi Spring with a faint smile on his face. Xiao Chen turned his head to look at the Spirit Chi Spring and murmured softly, "The Heavenly Ancestor, Xiao Chen." As expected of the spiritual energy spring. Unfortunately, there isn't enough time. Xiao Chen had a deep understanding of how heaven-defying the spiritual energy spring was. For Xiao Chen, cultivating in the spiritual energy spring for the past 5 months was definitely a huge gain for him. It was comparable to hundreds of years of cultivation in the outside world. To be honest, Xiao Chen was a little reluctant to leave the spiritual energy spring. However, he had no choice. There wasn't enough time. He didn't know how the battle in the Great Thousand World was going, so Xiao Chen had no choice but to come out of seclusion. In addition, Xiao Chen had undergone tremendous changes in the past 5 months. It would be difficult for him to make any breakthroughs in the short term if he continued to stay in the spiritual energy spring. Therefore, in Xiao Chen's opinion, returning to the Great Thousand World first was the best choice. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Chen took a step forward and disappeared from where he was. At that moment, Xiao Chen's body unconsciously revealed a trace of spiritual energy that had reached the level of a half-step sovereign master. Xiao Chen traveled all the way back to the Great Thousand World. With his current level of cultivation, his speed was naturally much faster than before. Therefore, it did not take him long to reach Leaping Tiger City. After suffering repeated losses at the hands of the evil path, the morale of the Great Thousand World was naturally low. However, with the arrival of Xiao Chen, many cultivators in the Great Thousand World saw a glimmer of hope. Although it wasn't publicly acknowledged, in many people's hearts, Xiao Chen had become the #1 person among the younger generation in the Great Thousand World, or rather, the #1 person below the Sovereign Master level. They had been unable to do anything about the evil spirits, and many powerhouses in the Great Thousand World had died tragically at the hands of the evil path. Now that Xiao Chen had returned, many powerhouses in the Great Thousand World naturally saw a glimmer of hope. Similarly, when they heard the news of Xiao Chen's return, Dao Ju and other monstrous geniuses personally came to greet him. When they saw Xiao Chen, Dao Ju said without thinking, "Xiao Chen, you're finally back. If you didn't come back, the evil spirits would have turned the sky upside down." Dao Ju had completely given up on fighting the evil spirits, and Xiao Chen's arrival indeed made Dao Ju secretly relieved. Everyone exchanged a few pleasantries. After 5 months, the feeling that Xiao Chen gave off to Dao Ju and the others was somewhat different. They didn't know how to describe it, but this feeling was very clear. Sensing the changes in Xiao Chen's body, Dao Ju carefully sensed Xiao Chen's current cultivation realm and found that he couldn't see through Xiao Chen's cultivation realm at all. Dao Ju was stunned and couldn't help but ask, "Xiao Chen, your cultivation realm, why can't I sense it at all?" He couldn't see through Xiao Chen's cultivation realm anymore. Hearing this, Xiao, Li Chun, and the others also tried to sense Xiao Chen's cultivation realm, but the results were exactly the same as Dao Ju's. For a moment, everyone's expressions were complicated. It had only been 5 months, so how much had Xiao Chen grown? Unable to see through Xiao Chen, Dao Ju naturally couldn't help but ask curiously, "Brother Xiao Chen, tell me honestly, what realm are you at now?" Dao Ju asked. In response, Xiao Chen smiled slightly and was about to answer when someone came to inform him that Junwei, Tinzu, and the other sovereigns urgently summoned Xiao Chen to the main hall. Xiao Chen's return was naturally immediately known by the sovereigns, so they couldn't wait to summon Xiao Chen. After all, Xiao Chen could be said to be the hope of the Great Thousand World. If even Xiao Chen couldn't resist the evil spirits, then the Great Thousand World would probably choose to give up on the Battle of Huyue City. Moreover, in the future battles with the evil spirits, the Great Thousand World would probably fall into a passive state. Because no one could restrain the evil spirits, this led to the evil spirits being able to do whatever they wanted on the battlefield, wantonly killing the end realm experts of the Great Thousand World. If this continued, the Great Thousand World would soon fall into a disadvantageous position, begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendation. Chapter 2393. It could be said that the phantasms had become a huge problem for the sovereigns, and it was also a problem that the Great Thousand World had to deal with. Otherwise, if the phantasms were allowed to continue, it would definitely be a huge blow to the Great Thousand World. It could be said that the phantasms had become a huge problem for the sovereigns, and it was also a problem that the Great Thousand World had to deal with. Otherwise, if the phantasms were allowed to continue, it would definitely be a huge blow to the Great Thousand World. Because of this, after hearing the news of Xiao Chen's return, the sovereigns immediately summoned Xiao Chen. They wanted to see how much Xiao Chen had grown in the past 5 months, and whether he could fight against the evil spirits. Hearing the summons of the sovereigns, Xiao Chen smiled at Dao Ju, then strode toward the central hall, surrounded by the crowd. In the hall, the sovereigns had been waiting for a long time. When Xiao Chen, Dao Ju, and the others strode into the hall, the sovereigns all looked over. Of course, their gazes were mostly focused on Xiao Chen. At first glance, the sovereigns naturally sensed Xiao Chen's cultivation, and Xiao Chen did not hide it. Therefore, with just a glance, the sovereigns' expressions changed. Dao Xiong could not help but stand up and ask, "Xiao Chen, your cultivation." It was as if he had seen something unbelievable. In this regard, Dao Ju and the others were confused. They naturally did not know why Dao Xiong was so excited. After all, Dao Ju and the others could not see through Xiao Chen's cultivation. Facing the surprised Dao Xiong, Xiao Chen smiled and said, "This junior was fortunate to not disappoint you this time and benefited a lot. I was lucky enough to break through to the half-step emperor realm." Xiao Chen had no intention of hiding his cultivation. Half-step emperor realm. Hearing Xiao Chen's words, not only the sovereigns, but even Dao Ju and the others were stunned. Half-step emperor realm. In just 5 months, Xiao Chen had broken through from the small perfection end realm to the half-step emperor realm. Such a result made Dao Ju and the others feel a sense of despair. In the past, they could be said to be on par with Xiao Chen, but now, Xiao Chen was already a half-step Emperor Realm Master. On the other hand, Dao Ju and the others were still in the Great Perfection End Realm, although they were not far from breaking through to the Small Perfection End Realm. So what if they broke through to the Small Perfection End Realm? Compared to Xiao Chen, there was still a huge gap. It was no exaggeration to say that Xiao Chen had completely crushed Dao Ju and the others in terms of cultivation realm, not to mention combat power. Moreover, Being able to break through to the half-step emperor realm meant that Xiao Chun was already able to use his words to enforce the law. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to break through to the half-step emperor realm. Dao Ju and the others were dumbfounded. After the emperors came back to their senses, they could not help but reveal a look of ecstasy on their faces, especially Tenzu. After learning that Xiao Chun had also broken through to the half-step emperor realm, the worry in Tenzu's heart instantly dissipated. Xiao Chun, who was a half-step emperor realm master, was already on par with the evil spirits in terms of cultivation alone. In this way, even if Xiao Chun's combat power might not be as good as the evil spirits, he could still contend with them. Moreover, since Xiao Chun was the #1 person among the younger generation of the Great Thousand World, his combat power was definitely extremely terrifying. At the very least, he had already surpassed Dao Ju and the others who were also geniuses. In this way, Tenzin naturally saw hope. As long as Xiao Chun could block the evil spirits, the Great Thousand World would not have to fear the demonic path, and there would still be hope for the battle of Leaping Tiger City. Once the Great Thousand World captured Leaping Tiger City, the situation would gradually become clearer. In a good mood, Tenzu could not help but laugh heartily. Good. Xiao Chun, you really didn't disappoint us, old guys. It seems that my decision this time was right. When he asked Xiao Chun to go to the World Energy Spring to cultivate, Tenzu was also hesitant. After all, this was a huge gamble in itself. If Xiao Chun did not meet Tenzu's expectations in the end, then all their previous efforts would be in vain. However, now it seemed that Xiao Chun did not disappoint everyone. In 5 months, Xiao Chun had indeed undergone earth-shaking changes. After witnessing Xiao Chun's progress with their own eyes, the sovereigns were also in a good mood. In this way, the evil spirits should be able to be dealt with in the next battle. Even if Xiao Chun could not defeat the evil spirits, it should not be a problem for him to delay them. As long as Xiao Chun could delay the evil spirits, it would be the best news for the other powerhouses of the Great Thousand World, and it would also reduce a lot of pressure on the Great Thousand World. After a round of encouragement and praise, Xiao Chun left the hall and went back to rest. Originally, Dao Ju and the others wanted to celebrate with Xiao Chun, but they were chased away by Xiao Chun. It was not easy for him to come out of seclusion, so he was very worried about Gu Lingyao, Tianyu, and Hong Xiu. How could he have time to chat with Dao Ju and the others? Hurrying, Xiao Chun rushed directly to Tomb City. With Xiao Chun's current cultivation, it did not take him much time to rush to Tomb City. In Mausoleum City, Xiao Chun met Gu Lingyao and the other 2 girls. Although the 3 girls really wanted to go to Leaping Tiger City, they did not dare to disobey Xiao Chun's order. Therefore, they had been waiting in Mausoleum City. Fortunately, because of the war in Leaping Tiger City, Mausoleum City was very peaceful during this period. In Tomb City City Lord Mansion, Xiao Chun first met Luo Xing, who had held back. Seeing that Xiao Chun had broken through to the half-step emperor realm, Luo Xing was also very surprised, but soon felt relieved. Xiao Chun's progress was naturally a good thing for the Great Thousand World. After meeting with Luo Xing, Xiao Chun went straight to the residence of Gu Lingyao and the other 2 women. Seeing Xiao Chun, the 3 women were extremely happy. Gu Lingyao even threw herself on Xiao Chun and said coquettishly, "Husband." After not seeing each other for several months, the 3 women were very worried about Xiao Chun. Seeing that the 3 women were safe and sound, Xiao Chun was secretly relieved. After chatting with the 3 women for more than an hour in Tomb City, Xiao Chun could not stay any longer because of the war in Leaping Tiger City, so he could only choose to leave. Hearing that Xiao Chun was leaving, Gu Lingyao immediately said, "Husband, I'll go with you." Gu Lingyao also said that she wanted to go to Leaping Tiger City with Xiao Chun. In this regard, Xiao Chun naturally did not agree. The warriors in Leaping Tiger City were very fierce. Xiao Chun could not let the 3 women take the risk, so he immediately refused with a straight face. No. Hearing Xiao Chun's words, with Gu Lingyao's character, she naturally coaxed and pestered, but no matter how Gu Lingyao persuaded, Xiao Chun did not agree. In the end, the three women had no choice but to watch Xiao Chun leave. Of course, Xiao Chun also made some concessions. For example, if the war in Leaping Tiger City was stable, or if it was not so dangerous, Xiao Chun would agree to let Guling Yao and the other two women go to Leaping Tiger City. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendation. Into this chapter. Chapter 2394. After staying in Tomb City for just over an hour, Xiao Chun set off for Leaping Tiger City. Although it was only a short time, Xiao Chun was completely relieved when he saw that Guling Yao and the other two women were fine. What Xiao Chun needed to consider next was the battle in Leaping Tiger City. Of course, the emperors also clearly told Xiao Chun his task, which was to stop the evil spirits. At any time, Xiao Chun only needed to stop the evil spirits and prevent the evil spirits from having a chance to attack others. This was Xiao Chun's task. From the emperors, Xiao Chun also learned that the evil spirits had also broken through to the half-step evil emperor realm, just like him. However, Xiao Chun was able to break through to the half-step emperor realm with the help of the world energy spring. But the evil spirits could be said to have broken through to the half-step evil emperor realm with their own foundation. In this way, the evil spirits were indeed stronger than him, especially in terms of foundation. Xiao Chun admitted that he was inferior to the evil spirits. What's more, the evil spirits had broken through to the half-step evil emperor realm a month earlier than Xiao Chun. This was the gap between the two in terms of foundation. However, even so, Xiao Chun's cultivation had finally caught up with the evil spirits with the help of the world energy spring. Xiao Chun now had the confidence to contend with the evil spirits. Xiao Chun was not afraid of anyone in the same realm as him. This had always been Xiao Chun's confidence. Moreover, in addition to his cultivation, Xiao Chun's physical body had also been greatly improved. His tempered battle body had even entered the fourth layer, the imperishable realm. Compared to 5 months ago, his combat strength was completely different. Only 3 days after Xiao Chun's return, the Evil Path launched an attack on the Great Thousand World. Ever since the evil spirits came out of seclusion and came to Leaping Tiger City, the Evil Path's attack had sped up a lot. Obviously, the Evil Path wanted to take advantage of the evil spirits to end the battle in Leaping Tiger City as soon as possible. Previously, the Great Thousand World had no way to deal with the Evil Path's plan. However, things are different now. With the return of Xiao Chun, the people of the Great Thousand World were full of confidence. This was because the phantasms, who had always been a headache to them, had been dealt with. Therefore, in the face of the Evil Path's attack this time, the Great Thousand World's morale had been greatly boosted. Outside Leaping Tiger City, the two sides fought fiercely again. Yin Tong was still fighting fiercely with Tenzu. During the fight, Yin Tong said with a smile, "I really don't know why the Great Thousand World is still holding on. Are you still going to add to the casualties in vain?" Yin Tong was in a good mood because the evil spirits were something that the Great Thousand World could not deal with. As long as the evil spirits were around, the Great Thousand World would always be at a disadvantage. Over time, the Great Thousand World had no other choice but to retreat. After a month of fierce battles, the number of experts from the Great Thousand Domains who had died at the hands of the phantasms was not a small number. Therefore, Yin Tong was full of confidence. Previously, the Heavenly Ancestor had indeed been at his wit's end. However, after hearing Yin Tong's words, the Heavenly Ancestor sneered. "Yin Tong, do you think that victory is already in your grasp?" When Tenzu said this, he was full of confidence. Hearing this, Yin Tong was stunned, but then he sneered and said, "Don't tell me that the Great Thousand World still has a way?" Yin Tong did not believe that the Great Thousand World had a way to deal with the evil spirits. If there was, the Great Thousand World would have used it long ago and would not have waited until now. As Yin Tong's words fell, the evil spirits appeared on the battlefield below and came directly to Dao Ju and the others. The appearance of the evil spirits was like a nightmare to many of the Great Thousand World's experts because too many of them had died in the hands of the evil spirits. In the previous battle, Dao Ju and the others did not participate because the evil spirits had a clear goal, which was to kill the supreme talents of the Great Thousand World. Therefore, Dao Ju and the others did not dare to participate in the battle. However, this time, Dao Ju and the others did not show the slightest trace of fear in their eyes when they faced the evil spirits again. The evil spirits were curious about this and asked indifferently, "Previously, you guys were like cowards. Why are you not afraid of death this time?" Previously, Dao Ju and the others were indeed like cowards. Not to mention confronting the evil spirits, they did not even have the courage to face the evil spirits. However, this time, Dao Ju and the others were acting very strangely. When Dao Ju heard the words of the evil spirits, he sneered and said, "We are not afraid of you this time." Dao Ju said that he was not afraid of the evil spirits. In response, the evil spirits laughed involuntarily and said, "Oh, did you guys have a breakthrough in your cultivation? However, do you think that you can fight against me just like that? I really can't believe that the supreme talents of the Great Thousand World are all a bunch of idiots." When they heard Dao Ju's words, the evil spirits could not figure out where their confidence came from. Perhaps Dao Ju and the others had a breakthrough in their cultivation, but even so, it was not too difficult for the evil spirits to kill them. Even if Dao Ju and the others had broken through to the small perfection end realm, it was not much of a difference to the evil spirits. They were simply courting death. However, since Dao Ju and the others were courting death, that was good. It would save them a lot of trouble, and they could quickly end the battle in Leaping Tiger City. With that thought in mind, the evil spirits did not bother about where Dao Ju and the others' confidence came from. Killing intent gradually gathered in their eyes. At this moment, seeing that the evil spirits were about to attack, Dao Ju smiled and said, "You can't take it anymore? However, it is a pity that your opponent this time is not us." When they heard Dao Ju's words, the evil spirits were stunned. However, the answer soon surfaced. Xiao Chen's figure appeared in front of Dao Ju and the others. He looked at the evil spirits and said calmly, "Your opponent is me." The evil spirits did not expect Xiao Chen's appearance. After all, Xiao Chen did not show up at all for the past month. It seemed like he was not even at the battlefield in Leaping Tiger City. However, when the evil spirits saw Xiao Chen, they were only stunned for a moment before they revealed smiles and said, "Xiao Chen." While speaking, the evil spirits secretly sensed Xiao Chen's cultivation. When they did, the evil spirits were stunned and their words were cut short. Xiao Chen's cultivation had actually reached the half-step emperor realm. This was something that the evil spirits did not expect, and it was inevitable that they would be shocked. However, after the shock, the evil spirits felt a trace of excitement in their hearts. The increase in Xiao Chen's cultivation could be said to be a pleasant surprise for the evil spirits. The evil spirits also seemed to have found the opponent they had been looking for all this time. The evil spirits looked at Xiao Chen in a different light and said calmly, "So that's how it is. Xiao Chen, you really didn't disappoint me. Not bad. Half-step Emperor Realm. You can fight me now. Please add me to your collection. Please recommend me." Chapter 2395. Xiao Chen's breakthrough to the half-step Emperor Realm was indeed beyond the expectations of the evil spirits. At the same time, it also made the evil spirits secretly excited. Xiao Chen's breakthrough to the half-step Emperor Realm was indeed beyond the expectations of the evil spirits. At the same time, it also made the evil spirits secretly excited. After all, although Xiao Chen was not bad before, there was still a gap between him and the evil spirits. But now, since Xiao Chen could break through to the half-step Emperor Realm, it was obvious that his strength would be incomparable to before. This made the evil spirits even more expectant. Xiao Chen stopped the evil spirits. Dao Ju and the others also left. They did not want to fight with the evil spirits. After all, they had suffered a lot at the hands of the evil spirits before. Dao Ju and the others left, leaving only Xiao Chen and the evil spirits in the space. At this time, Xiao Chen took the initiative to attack. He pointed his finger in the air, and a blood-red sword light suddenly shot towards the evil spirits. Facing Xiao Chen's attack, the evil spirits did not change their expressions at all. This was just a casual attack from Xiao Chen. In the eyes of the evil spirits, it was not a threat at all. They easily blocked Xiao Chen's attack. At the same time, Xiao Chen's sword whirled, which had reached the perfection stage, soared into the sky. Xiao Chen directly used his sword whirl. Seeing this, the evil spirits did not dare to show weakness and also used their sword whirl. The two sword worlds overlapped with each other. For a moment, the entire space was surrounded by terrifying sword chi. After the breakthrough in cultivation, whether it was Xiao Chen or the evil spirit sword world, the power had obviously increased greatly. With the power of the two sword worlds, even an end-realm powerhouse would find it difficult to protect themselves if they were caught in it. Under the cover of the sword world, the two looked at each other and completely ignored the attack of the dense sword chi. With their strength, the sword chi was indeed unable to hurt them. The two did not make any movements. Suddenly, the two disappeared from their original spot. They directly used their divine ability Realm Flash. Both of them had Realm Flash. The two figures disappeared into thin air. After that, it was impossible to catch their movements. However, the two were already fighting fiercely. Long swords clashed. As Xiao Chen and the evil spirits continuously clashed, the space within the sword world was also collapsing. It was also because Xiao Chen and the evil spirits had sealed the space at the same time. Otherwise, if the shock wave spread out, it would probably affect many people. With the space sealed, the shock waves from the two's battle naturally would not affect others. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged hundreds of moves. After these hundreds of moves, Xiao Chen did not fall into a disadvantage. It was not like the previous time, when although he could fight against the evil spirits, he was still in a state of being suppressed. This time, as Xiao Chen's strength increased, he seemed to be able to be on par with the evil spirits. Xiao Chen's improvement was due to the spiritual energy spring. This was also the foundation of the Great Thousand World. Compared to the Great Thousand World, the foundation of the evil path was obviously much weaker. After all, the evil path had been sealed for a long time. Many of the treasures and foundations from before no longer existed. Therefore, this was a huge disadvantage for the evil path. If the evil path had a foundation like the spiritual energy spring, then with the talent of the evil spirits, they would have successfully broken through to the evil honorable realm and not be stuck at the half-step evil honorable realm. Unfortunately, the evil path did not have such a foundation. This gave Xiao Chen a chance to catch up with the evil spirits. In fact, with the help of the spiritual energy spring, Xiao Chen was indeed able to fight against the evil spirits. Up until now, the two of them could be said to be evenly matched. The evil spirits did not have much of an advantage. Regarding this, the evil spirits were not angry. On the contrary, their battle intent grew even stronger. Fighting against Xiao Chen, the evil spirits found the thrill of battle. This was the opponent they had always been looking for. In Xiao Chen, the evil spirits saw the shadow of Wu Di. Back then, the evil spirits also fought against Wu Di like this. As Nye Tian's sword slashed down, the two of them clashed head-on once again. The tremendous impact forced both of them to take a few steps back. However, at that moment, Phantasm suddenly pointed his finger at Nye Tian. Lightning strike. Accompanied by the evil spirit's voice, a bolt of heavenly thunder suddenly fell from the sky. Seeing this, Xiao Chen did not panic. Earth principles gathered around his body and soon protected Xiao Chen. The heavenly thunder struck the earth principles fiercely, but it was not able to break them. Thunder principles and earth principles. And this was just the beginning. The evil spirits had already comprehended the law of words long ago, and Xiao Chen, after breaking through to the half-step emperor realm, was also able to achieve the law of words. Therefore, Xiao Chen and the evil spirits could now control all the world principles in this world at will, just like the emperors and evil honorables. With a thought, Xiao Chen and the evil spirits were surrounded by rich world principles. These world principles were very rich and complex, containing all kinds of world principles. And under the influence of these world principles, the battle between Shao Chun and the evil spirits became extremely dangerous. After all, with so many world principles, it was extremely shocking. This was something that only the emperors and evil honorables could achieve, but now, Shao Chun and the evil spirits were also able to do it. At this moment, the battle between the two of them was not inferior to the battle between the emperors and evil honorables. The terrifying power they exuded made people not dare to approach. Under the collision of various world principles, Shao Chun was still able to fight back and forth with the evil spirits without the slightest sign of weakness. With a thought, the evil spirits condensed their fire principles into a fire dragon and instantly rushed toward Shao Chun. On the other side, facing the evil spirits' attack, Shao Chun had no intention of dodging. He also used the fire principles to form a fire dragon, and for a moment, the two fire dragons collided fiercely. Not far away, Dao Ju and the others had been paying attention to the battle between Shao Chun and the evil spirits. Seeing that Shao Chun and the evil spirits were surrounded by the world principles, Dao Ju and the others shook their heads helplessly. A trace of sadness suddenly appeared in their hearts. They were all heaven's prides and monstrous geniuses, but now, Shao Chun had left them far behind. Looking at the battle between Shao Chun and the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others could not believe that this was Shao Chun. One must know that although Shao Chun was strong before, he was on par with Dao Ju and the others. But now, Shao Chun's strength had completely surpassed Dao Ju and the others. It was not an exaggeration to say that even if Dao Ju and the others joined forces, they would not be a match for Shao Chun. Just the world principles alone were enough to leave Dao Ju and the others in the dust. This guy has actually grown to such a height. Sighing helplessly, Dao Ju and the others knew that from now on, Shao Chun would probably be the #1 person among the younger generation in the Great Thousand World, and there was no way they could be compared to Shao Chun. Please add, please vote, please recommend. Chapter 2396. Looking at the battle between Shao Chun and the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others had to admit that the gap between them and Shao Chun had been widened. The people who were once on equal footing with Shao Chun could only look up at Shao Chun's back. Looking at the battle between Shao Chun and the evil spirits, Dao Ju and the others had to admit that the gap between them and Shao Chun had been widened. The people who were once on equal footing with Shao Chun could only look up at Shao Chun's back. They were a little disappointed and a little unwilling, but there was nothing they could do. After all, this was the truth, and they could not change it. Unaware of the thoughts of Dao Ju and the others, Shao Chun and the evil spirits did not hold back in the slightest. Throughout the entire process, although the evil spirits had a slight advantage, it did not affect Shao Chun at all. They could no longer completely suppress Shao Chun like before. Facing Shao Chun now, the evil spirits could gain a slight advantage, but they were far from being able to suppress Shao Chun. Both of them were surrounded by the dense power of the laws. At the same time, they were constantly clashing and contending against each other. Shao Chun did not feel as helpless as before when he fought with the evil spirits again. At least, Shao Chun now had the strength to contend with the evil spirits. After a long battle, the evil spirit's fighting spirit was completely ignited. Sword chi wrapped around the long sword in their hands. Looking at Shao Chun, the evil spirits said calmly, "I never thought that you would grow to such a level in just 5 months. It is indeed surprising, but it is precisely because of this that it will be interesting." As they spoke, the long sword in the evil spirit's hands flew straight into the sky. Then, just like last time, a huge blood-red sword slowly descended from the clouds. It was like a mountain suppressing Shao Chun. Moreover, this time, the evil spirits were clearly stronger than the previous time. They no longer held back and directly used their full strength. The current Shao Chun was worthy of the evil spirits' full strength. Faced with the blood-red greatsword descending from the sky, the fighting spirit in Shao Chun's eyes continued to rise. He still remembered that in order to block the evil spirit's attack, Xiao Chun had been severely injured and had even nearly died. But this time, Xiao Chun was full of confidence. Although the power of the evil spirit's sword was stronger this time, Xiao Chun was no longer the same as 5 months ago. The sword chi and principal strength around him crazily rose. Xiao Chun tightened his grip on the immaculate sword in his hand and directly slashed at the evil spirit's blood-red greatsword, instantly displaying the Emperor's sword. After reaching the half-step Emperor realm, Xiao Chen's Emperor's sword had also risen to a whole new level. With a slash, the two swords collided fiercely. At the same time, the evil spirit's blood-red greatsword was firmly blocked by the Emperor's sword, unable to descend even an inch further. The two great swords continued to clash in the air. In the end, under everyone's gaze, the evil spirit's blood-red greatsword began to crack inch by inch, and then it directly shattered. After successfully blocking the evil spirit's blood-red greatsword, Xiao Chun was no longer seriously injured like last time. Instead, he was completely unharmed. Seeing that their blood-red greatsword was directly blocked and shattered by Xiao Chun, the evil spirits weren't surprised at all. After the previous fierce battle, the evil spirits had a certain understanding of Xiao Chen's current strength. Even though the phantasms still had the upper hand in the battle, the advantage was so small that Zhan Mu couldn't affect the outcome of the battle at all. In the past, they could easily crush Xiao Chun, but now, the evil spirits didn't have absolute confidence in fighting Xiao Chun. It could be said that at this moment, Xiao Chun was completely on the same level as the evil spirits. After another head-on clash, there was still no clear winner. However, this outcome was within the evil spirits' expectations. Immediately after, the evil spirits didn't hesitate and attacked Xiao Chun again. The two of them continued to fight fiercely. During this fierce battle, the evil spirits were completely tied down by Xiao Chun, and they couldn't get away at all. Therefore, the pressure on the Great Thousand World side was obviously much lower than in the previous battles. After all, without the unstoppable evil spirits, the many powerhouses on the Great Thousand World side could participate in the battle without restraint. On the other hand, because the evil spirits were tied down by the evil spirits, their biggest advantage was also gone. At least, this was the situation before the evil spirits defeated Xiao Chun. Xiao Chen's strength naturally attracted the attention of Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns. From the beginning, Yin Tong and the other evil sovereigns' goal was very clear, and that was to use the advantage of the evil spirits to completely deal a heavy blow to the Great Thousand World. In the previous few battles, the evil spirits had indeed played a huge role, causing the Great Thousand World to suffer losses repeatedly and killing many powerhouses of the Great Thousand World. They originally thought that they could directly use the evil spirits to quickly end the battle in Leaping Tiger City and deal a heavy blow to the Great Thousand World. However, who would have thought that Xiao Chun would appear out of nowhere at this time? The strength that Xiao Chun displayed was no weaker than the evil spirits. Such strength made the hearts of the evil sovereigns sink. If the evil spirits couldn't defeat Xiao Chun, then both sides were likely to enter a stalemate again, just like before. Yin Tong's gaze fell on Xiao Chun from time to time. At this moment, he was no longer as relaxed and confident as before, because the evil spirits were completely tied down by Xiao Chun. What's wrong? You're anxious now? Could it be that you really think that a junior can defeat the Great Thousand World? Tenzu said with a chuckle when he noticed the change in Yin Tong. At this moment, it was Tenzu's turn to be secretly happy. After hearing Tenzu's words, Yin Tong snorted coldly and looked at Xiao Chun with an unusually cold gaze. Yin Tong didn't expect that the Great Thousand World actually had a genius that could contend with the evil spirits. There seemed to be a deviation in the plan. He originally thought that he could rely on the evil spirits to quickly end the battle in Leaping Tiger City, but now it seemed that this idea couldn't be realized. As long as Xiao Chun was around, the advantage of the evil spirits couldn't be brought to bear, and Yin Tong was extremely depressed for a moment. Not only Yin Tong, But the rest of the evil sovereigns were also feeling the same way. The sovereigns of the Great Thousand World were all extremely excited and in a good mood. Originally, they were having a headache because of the evil spirits and had been thinking of ways to deal with the evil spirits, but now, with Xiao Chun, the evil spirits were perfectly tied down. As a result, the evil path naturally couldn't achieve their goal. Although the Great Thousand World still didn't gain any advantage, at least they had recovered from their previous disadvantage and had the confidence to continue fighting the evil path. At the same time, they didn't have to worry about the threat of the evil spirits anymore. Do you think that only the evil path has people like the evil spirits? The Great Thousand World also has them. I wonder what the evil path will do if the evil spirits are killed by our family's Xiao Chun in the end. Dao Xiong couldn't help but laugh out loud as he was in a good mood. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 2397. Dao Xiong's laughter was filled with schadenfreude. During this period of time, they had been suppressed by the evil way too miserably. This made the sovereigns of the Great Thousand World, including Dao Xiong, very unhappy. Now that Xiao Chun had appeared, he had completely destroyed the evil way's plan. Dao Xiong and the other sovereigns were naturally happy. Even Xie Tian, who was fighting fiercely with Jun Wuya, could not help but take another look at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun's performance was too experienced. Even Xie Tian did not expect that in the current Great Thousand World, there would be someone of the same generation who could contend with the evil spirits. However, Yang Chun was undoubtedly the one with the most complicated feelings among the people present. All along, Yang Chun had regarded Xiao Chun as his lifelong opponent. From the beginning of the battle between the Sword Sect and the Heavenly Sect, it had been like this. Moreover, from the beginning to the end, Yang Chun felt that his strength should be on par with Xiao Chun. After all, the two of them had fought before. At that time, Xiao Chun was indeed unable to defeat him, and in the end, both of them were injured. Later, after Tao Ming's betrayal and defected to the evil way, Yang Chun became more and more diligent in his cultivation. Especially after following the evil spirits, Yang Chun felt that his progress was sufficiently great. In addition, from time to time, he could also receive guidance from the evil spirits. In Yang Chun's opinion, his strength should not be too far away from Xiao Chun's. However, now it seemed that Yang Chun was completely wrong. His strength was not far away from Xiao Chun's. It was on a completely different level. Looking at Xiao Chun, who was fighting fiercely with the evil spirits, Yang Chun did not know what to feel in his heart. In any case, there was a taste of despair mixed in. Judging from Xiao Chun's combat strength, Yang Chun did not doubt that if he were to face Xiao Chun, he would probably be killed. He completely did not expect that Xiao Chun would become so strong in the blink of an eye. Everything seemed to have happened in an instant. It seemed that just yesterday, Yang Chun thought that he was infallible and Xiao Chun in the same breath. Who would have thought that in just a day, Xiao Chun had already shown a powerful strength that completely crushed him? Xiao Chun, who was fighting fiercely with the evil spirits, naturally did not know what everyone was thinking. Of course, Xiao Chun did not have the time to care about these things because the evil spirits were really serious. Facing the serious evil spirits, Xiao Chun did not dare to be the slightest bit distracted or careless. In the fierce battle, the evil spirit's strength was constantly increasing, and Xiao Chun was also going all out to deal with them. The two of them were evenly matched, and in such a battle, both Xiao Chun and the evil spirits felt a long-lost, refreshing feeling. It had been a long time since Xiao Chun and the evil spirits met such evenly matched opponents. What was even more commendable was that both of them were similar in age, strength, and cultivation. It had been a long time since Xiao Chun and the evil spirits met such an opponent. This was especially true for the evil spirits. Ever since they awakened, the evil spirits had been looking for an opponent like Wu Di, and now, the evil spirits had finally found one. The phantasm couldn't help but grow excited. Both of them became fiercer as the battle went on. However, as time passed, the evil spirits gradually gained the upper hand. Although this advantage was not great, it was enough for the evil spirits to seize the initiative. The evil spirits slashed out with their sword and said with a smile, "Shao Chun, although you have improved a lot, I am still stronger in terms of foundation. If this battle continues, I will definitely be the one to win." The evil spirits were also very clear about the gap between them and Shao Chun. Although Shao Chun had miraculously caught up with them with the help of the spiritual spring, the evil spirits were still stronger than Shao Chun. This was due to the gap in foundation, and foundation was not something that could be easily made up for. This was also the biggest gap between Shao Chun and the evil spirits. After hearing the evil spirits' words, Shao Chun did not refute. Indeed, Shao Chun himself knew that his foundation was indeed much weaker compared to the evil spirits. However, in addition, Shao Chun also had his own advantage, and that was his physical body. After fighting for so long, the evil spirits were stronger than him in terms of foundation. Shao Chun also felt that his physical body was still stronger than the evil spirits. The tempered battle body was indeed extraordinary. After breaking through the fourth stage of the undying battle body, even the evil spirits were no match for Shao Chun in terms of pure physical strength. Speaking of which, the evil spirit's physical body was actually not weak. In fact, it could even be described as heaven-defying. However, compared to them, Shao Chun's physical body was much stronger and more powerful. Therefore, after hearing the evil spirit's attack, Shao Chun said indifferently as he swung his sword to meet the attack, "Although your foundation is strong, your physical body is not as good as mine." After saying that, Shao Chun suddenly increased the strength in his hand. In an instant, a huge force was transmitted through the long sword to the evil spirit's hand. Feeling the terrifying strength of Shao Chun, the evil spirits were stunned. However, before they could react, Shao Chun's other hand had already fiercely punched the evil spirits. The punch bombarded the evil spirit's abdomen. The huge force directly sent the evil spirits flying. With the advantage of his physical body, Shao Chun was indeed not afraid of the evil spirits. Even if the two of them were to exchange blows, Shao Chun would definitely not be weaker than the evil spirits. After being sent flying by Shao Chun's punch, the evil spirits were not too affected. They quickly stabilized their bodies. At this time, Shao Chun also directly attacked. With the advantage of his physical body, Shao Chun was able to defeat all of the evil spirits head-on. As time passed, the advantage of Shao Chun's physical body gradually began to show. The evil spirits began to gradually fall into a disadvantage in terms of physical strength. In terms of foundation, the evil spirits had the advantage. However, in terms of physical strength, Shao Chun had the advantage. Both of them had their advantages and disadvantages. In the end, it could be said that neither of them had the upper hand. Although the evil spirits could be said to have more tricks up their sleeves, Shao Chun was straightforward. He relied on the advantage of his physical body to confront the evil spirits head-on. After a fierce battle, both of them were injured. After all, Shao Chun and the evil spirits could be said to have fought until now. The destructive aftershocks of their battle shocked the surrounding people. Many people secretly guessed that these two people had not stepped into the Emperor realm yet. Just by looking at the battle between the two, no one would believe that Shao Chun and the evil spirits were only half-step Emperor realm masters. The terrifying pressure and aftershocks of their battle were not inferior to that of the emperors and evil masters. There was a trace of blood at the corner of their mouths, but the fighting spirit in their eyes was getting stronger. This battle had allowed both of them to completely let go of their hands and feet. The two of them had not experienced this kind of fun in a long time. Shao Chun and the evil spirits could not help but enjoy the battle to their heart's content. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendation. Chapter 2398. Such a battle made Shao Chun and the evil spirits extremely excited. Both of them could be said to be warmongers, especially when they met a suitable opponent. Such a battle made Shao Chun and the evil spirits extremely excited. Both of them could be said to be warmongers, especially when they met a suitable opponent. However, after a fierce battle, Shao Chun and the evil spirits were evenly matched. Up until now, both sides had suffered heavy casualties. Even so, the sovereigns and the evil sovereigns still had no intention of stopping. Or rather, the battle in Leaping Tiger City had been going on for too long, causing the sovereigns and the evil sovereigns to completely lose their patience. They wanted to end the battle in Leaping Tiger City. However, in a situation where both sides were evenly matched, it was indeed not an easy task to end the battle in Leaping Tiger City. One must know that with the current strength of both sides, no one dared to say that they would win for sure. No one had any advantage over the other. However, even so, the sovereigns and the evil sovereigns on both sides were still determined to fight to the death. More and more people fell. The blood rain in the sky didn't stop from start to finish. In such a battle, even End Realm experts wouldn't be able to protect themselves. In this place, the lives of End Realm experts were extremely fragile. If they were not careful, they might die on the spot. Compared to the previous battle, this battle was clearly even more tragic and bloody. This was because in the previous battles, after reaching such a stage, both sides would choose to stop at the same time. This was because they urgently needed to continue fighting, and the price would be too great. No one was willing to bear such a loss. However, this time, no matter if it was the evil path or the Great Thousand World, they clearly had no intention of stopping. They seemed to want to end it all in one go. The sovereigns and the evil sovereigns did not say anything, so everyone could only fight to the death. There was no way out. The two sides engaged in an intense battle. This battle lasted for half a month. In this half a month, the number of people who died on the side of the Great Thousand World and the evil path added together exceeded 10 million. Tens of millions of people had died in a single battle. This could no longer be described as a mountain of corpses. The world seemed to have been dyed red with blood, and the entire Great Thousand World was shrouded in a heavy atmosphere. No matter where one was, one could feel the murderous aura coming from Leaping Tiger City. The cultivators from both sides fought with their lives on the line, dyeing the place red with blood. After half a month of intense fighting, Shao Chun and the evil spirits were also heavily injured. This was also because of the pills. Without the help of the pills, Shao Chun and the evil spirits would not be able to endure such a long and intense battle. Everyone's aura had withered to the extreme, but in the end, everyone still chose to fight. There were no more earth-shattering aftershocks of the battle, because the spiritual energy in everyone's body had long been exhausted. It was as if they had returned to the most primitive state of battle. No matter what cultivation level they were at, they were now engaged in an intense battle with their opponents. Such a primitive and simple battle could even be described as a battle between hooligans in the marketplace. However, it made everyone's eyes turn red. This was because this was a battle where everyone gave their all. Once the spiritual energy in their bodies was exhausted, they would use their physical bodies or weapons. They would use the simplest and most primitive method. Blood splattered everywhere. Even Yin Tong, Tenzu, and the other sovereigns and evil sovereigns were at the point of exhaustion. Even though they were sovereigns, half a month of intense fighting had depleted the spiritual energy in their bodies. Leaping Tiger City seemed to have turned into a meat grinder, a gate of hell with its bloody mouth wide open as if it was going to swallow everyone. Countless lives ended and perished here. In the fierce battle with the evil spirits, Shao Chen's heart was heavy as he watched the cultivators from the Great Thousand World fall one after another. He knew that the sovereigns wanted to end the battle in Leaping Tiger City in one go, but now it seemed impossible. Even if everyone died here, there would not be a conclusion to the battle. Looking at the people from the various sects, some of them had even died. Even the Ling Tian sects, such as the Saber Sect, Moon Palace, Heavenly Yin Tower, and Heavenly Policy Mansion, had less than 1/10 of their people left. There were only 3 Vice Sect masters left in the Saber Sect, 4 in the Moon Palace, 1 in the Heavenly Yin Tower, and 2 in the Heavenly Policy Mansion. These were the casualties of the Ling Tian sects, such as the Saber sect, not to mention the sects below them. Many of them had already died. It could be said that the forces that had been passed down for many years had been annihilated in this battle, and they would no longer exist from now on. It was too tragic. Up until now, it was enough. It was really enough. Even if they wanted to determine the winner, it was no longer a battle. Instead, it was a battle that had deeply obliterated everyone's lives. Looking at the cultivators from both sides who were still alive, each of them was like a walking corpse. They only knew how to kill. They did not think about anything else and did not care about anything else. Xiao Chen had experienced many battles in his life. Starting from the Eight Desolates world, Xiao Chen had experienced many battles along the way. However, there had never been a battle like the one in front of him that made him feel cold, lifeless, and sad. Xiao Chen's sword parried the attack of the evil spirits. His injuries were not light, but at this time, Xiao Chen took the initiative to retreat. He then shouted, "Enough, stop!" In Xiao Chen's view, the battle had progressed to such a state. It was indeed enough. It was estimated that this battle had caused the Great Thousand World to lose nearly 60% of its cultivators. Such casualties could no longer be described as exaggerated. This was simply a war of destruction. It was a war that would destroy the entire Great Thousand World, and at the same time destroy the evil path. Xiao Chen's words stunned everyone. Even the evil sovereigns and sovereigns stopped what they were doing. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Xiao Chen. In response, Xiao Chen gritted his teeth and said, "Whatever it is, it's enough. No matter what the reason is, this is already enough. If we continue to fight, even if there's a victor, so what? The Great Thousand World and the evil path will be destroyed. This is no longer a war. This is self-destruction." Xiao Chen's words were not exaggerated. In just this battle, more than 60% of the cultivators from the Great Thousand World had fallen. Losing 60% of their cultivators in one battle was a great loss to the martial Tao of the Great Thousand World. With such casualties, how long would it take for the Great Thousand World to barely recover? Without mentioning anything else, this battle was enough to cause the martial Tao of the Great Thousand World to regress by thousands of years, or even tens of thousands of years, before it could recover to its original state. Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. End of chapter. Chapter 2399. Both sides had paid a great price, so Xiao Chen felt that they shouldn't continue fighting. This was no longer a matter of winning or losing. Looking at the cultivators of the Great Thousand World lying in pools of blood, which one of them didn't fight to the last moment for the Great Thousand World. Both sides had paid a great price, so Xiao Chen felt that they shouldn't continue fighting. This was no longer a matter of winning or losing. Looking at the cultivators of the Great Thousand World lying in pools of blood, which one of them didn't fight to the last moment for the Great Thousand World. The fall of so many people, such a tragic battle, it was enough. For Leaping Tiger City, so many people had lost their lives. It was enough. Following Xiao Chen's words, the evil spirits on the other side also spoke up. Let's stop here for now. The evil spirits actually had the same idea as Xiao Chen. Hearing this, Xiao Chen looked at them indifferently. As Xiao Chen and the evil spirits spoke up one after another, Yin Tong, Tinzu, the evil sovereigns, Xietian, and Jun Wuya all fell silent. But soon, Jun Wuya spoke up. Retreat. With Jun Wuya's order, the people of the Great Thousand World who were still alive retreated from the battlefield one after another. Xietian didn't stop them, and at the same time, he also ordered the cultivators of the evil path to retreat. After this bloody battle, both sides had suffered heavy losses. More than half of them were dead or injured, reaching hundreds of people. Since the battle had reached this stage, both sides had no choice but to call a temporary truce. The losses of this battle had already surpassed the losses of both sides. Perhaps this was the embodiment of the blood of war. As they retreated one after another, the people of the Great Thousand World began to collect the corpses of those who had died in the battle. These people had fought to the last moment for the Great Thousand World, so naturally they couldn't let their corpses be exposed in the wilderness. The corpses were brought back to the encampment of the Great Thousand World. The encampment that was originally packed with people seemed extremely empty at this moment because more than half of them had died in this bloody battle. Even Xiao Chun was severely injured after half a month of fierce battles. As soon as he returned to the Great Thousand World, he spat out a mouthful of blood. It was the same for the evil spirits. After returning to Hu Yu Chun, the faces of the evil spirits instantly paled. Blood involuntarily flowed out from the corner of their mouths. The battle between good and evil is really like fire and water. The evil spirits said faintly as they casually wiped the blood from the corner of their mouths. Even though the evil spirits had participated in the battle between the righteous and evil paths, this battle had left a deep impression on the evil spirits. He felt really uncomfortable in his heart. "Let's drink here." They would drink in this room. Hearing this, Xiao Chun didn't reject. In this place filled with corpses, Xiao Chun and Dao Ju sat on the ground and started to drink. After 3 rounds of drinking, Dao Ju said with a pained expression, "Xiao Chun, do you know that after this battle, my saber sect is pretty much destroyed? There are only 3 End Realm deputy sect leaders left. 19 of them have fallen, and less than 10% of the cultivators under them are still alive. Saber sect was indeed destroyed in one battle. Their current strength was probably less than 20% of their peak. This was the result of the battle between the righteous and evil. Of course, it wasn't just Saber sect. Moon Palace, Tianyin Tower, and Heaven Plan Hall were the same. They lost a lot of strength and could be said to be on the verge of destruction. As the sect leader of Saber sect, Dao Ju was naturally pained by the losses of Saber sect. Moreover, many of the fallen deputy sect leaders had watched Dao Ju grow up. To Dao Ju, they were like elders, family. However, in one battle, 19 of them had fallen. Such a price was indeed a little too high. Moreover, apart from these End Realm experts, there were also many Saber sect disciples that had died. The moment he said this, Dao Ju took a huge gulp of wine like he was venting the emotions in his heart. Xiao Chen didn't say much about this. What could he say? In the face of such an outcome, who would feel good? After a battle, perhaps the person who was laughing and chatting with you a second ago would become a cold corpse in the next second, unable to speak anymore. Who could easily accept such an outcome? His heart was also filled with panic. Xiao Chen also took a huge gulp of wine and said slowly, "Maybe this is the battle between the righteous and evil. Everyone has to pay a heavy price. Begging for your collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations." Xiao Chen naturally did not welcome the 3 women, and originally intended to send them back to the Sword Sect, but the 3 women refused and insisted on staying to accompany Xiao Chun. The 3 women were also aware of the cruelty of the war between the good and evil, but it was because of this that they insisted on staying by Xiao Chen's side. Half a month had passed, and Xiao Chen's injuries were no longer serious. At this time, both sides began to stir again. Sigh. In the courtyard, Xiao Chen sighed softly, knowing that a great war was about to break out soon. Upon hearing Xiao Chen's sigh, Gu Lingyao and the other 2 women comforted him. "Husband, this is not something that you can decide on your own. Even the sovereigns may not be able to control the development of the situation." As his wives, Gu Lingyao and the other 2 women naturally knew what Xiao Chen was thinking, and they also knew that Xiao Chen was at a loss. In response, Xiao Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly. "I know all this, but I really don't understand the meaning of the war between the good and evil. How many more people must be sacrificed to end this war?" Xiao Chen was unwilling to see more people die. Too many people had died, especially those End Realm powerhouses. Every one of them was an expert of the Great Thousand World. Xiao Chen wanted to change something, but there was nothing he could do. Seeing this, Gu Lingyao and the other 2 women could only stay by Xiao Chen's side. Looking at Gu Lingyao and the other two women, Xiao Chun did not know what the outcome would be under such a situation. Would they be separated by life and death again? Begging for collection, begging for monthly votes, begging for recommendations. Chapter 24:01. In such a great battle, even sovereigns did not dare to say that their lives were not in danger, let alone the people below. Although Xiao Chun was now a half-step sovereign, Xiao Qin was not confident that he could protect Gu Lingyao and the others once they entered the battlefield. In such a great battle, even sovereigns did not dare to say that their lives were not in danger, let alone the people below. Although Xiao Chun was now a half-step sovereign, Xiao Qin was not confident that he could protect Gu Lingyao and the others once they entered the battlefield. After all, anything could happen on such a battlefield, and it would all happen in an instant. There would be no chance to react at all. With a heavy heart, Xiao Chun was indeed a little confused and could not find an answer for the time being. At the same time, on the other side, the sovereigns had recovered from their injuries after a period of recuperation. They gathered together again to discuss the next strategic deployment. The two sides had been entangled for so long, and it was undeniable that Leaping Tiger City was indeed a tough bone to chew. It was very tough to take down Leaping Tiger City. In the main hall, Dao Xiong said, "The evil path will definitely defend Leaping Tiger City to the death. It's not worth it to continue fighting here." Dao Xiong's meaning was very clear. It was not easy to take down Leaping Tiger City, especially when the evil path was determined to defend Leaping Tiger City to the death. In this way, the Great Thousand World would be even more difficult to take down. After the last great battle, the casualties on the side of the Great Thousand World made the sovereigns' hearts ache. The sacrifice of so many people was indeed a big blow to the Great Thousand World. If this continued, even if they won in the end, the vitality of the Great Thousand World would be greatly damaged. Therefore, Dao Xiong did not agree to continue fighting in Leaping Tiger City. However, after hearing Dao Xiong's words, Yin Letian said coldly, "Are we going to give up on Leaping Tiger City? If that's the case, won't all our previous efforts be in vain?" Yin Letian did not agree to give up on Leaping Tiger City. At this point, if they gave up on Leaping Tiger City, wouldn't those who died in the battle be sacrificed in vain? Then what do you think we should do? Are we going to fight to the death with the evil Dao like we did before, and then millions of people from the Great Thousand World will die? Dao Xiong was clearly displeased. Millions of people had died in one battle, and they were all experts with decent cultivation. Such a loss was not something the Great Thousand World could take. Just this one time had already caused the Great Thousand World to suffer a huge loss. If such a loss occurred again, then the End Realm, Dao Realm, and Comprehension Realm experts of the Great Thousand World would all die. At that time, the Great Thousand World would face a period of no End Realm, Dao Realm, and Comprehension Realm experts. Such a gap would be extremely terrifying for any world. Not to mention other things, just the development of martial arts in the Great Thousand World would be a blow that could not be ignored. Yin Letian was not willing to give up on Leaping Tiger City just like that, and Dao Xiong did not agree to continue fighting to the death with the evil Dao in Leaping Tiger City. Thus, the two of them began to argue. Due to the anxious situation of the battle and the heavy losses, the tempers of the sovereigns had become extremely irritable. For a time, in the main hall, except for Jun Wuya and Tenzu, the rest of the people expressed their opinions. The sovereigns were completely divided into two camps, and they insisted on two completely different viewpoints. Among them, the camp led by Yin Letian believed that since the battle had reached such a stage, no matter what, they had to take down Leaping Tiger City. For this, it was worth it even if they had to pay a huge price. Moreover, the Great Thousand World had suffered heavy losses, and so had the evil Dao. The Great Thousand World could not take such losses, and neither could the evil Dao. Therefore, Yin Letian and the others firmly believed that they should continue to attack Leaping Tiger City and take it down in one fell swoop. However, Dao Xiong's camp was resolutely opposed to Yin Letian and the others' views. It was true that the evil Tao could not take such losses either. But if they continued to fight, what was the difference between killing 1,000 of the enemy and losing 800 of their own men? Moreover, even if they continued to attack Leaping Tiger City, who could guarantee that they would be able to take it down? The fierce battle in Leaping Tiger City had been in a stalemate for almost a year. During this period, both sides had broken out nearly 100 battles of various sizes. But in the end, almost all of them ended with both sides suffering heavy losses. This also proved that the evil Tao and the Great Thousand Worlds forces were basically evenly matched. Under such a premise, did the Great Thousand World have absolute confidence in taking down Leaping Tiger City? The answer was obviously no. If they continued to attack Leaping Tiger City, the most likely result would be that both sides suffered heavy losses. The higher-ups had spent too much manpower and resources on Leaping Tiger City, and when the time came, neither side could do anything to the other. If they did not have the confidence, it could even be said that they knew they could not do it, but they still insisted on doing it. This was a foolish behavior. Therefore, Dao Xiong's camp was resolute in not agreeing to continue fighting to the death with the evil Tao in Leaping Tiger City. Both sides insisted on their own views and quarreled endlessly. Chapter 2402. Tenzu's intention was clear. On one hand, they would continue to tangle with the evil path in Leaping Tiger City. On the other hand, they would secretly dispatch a team of elite experts from Mausoleum City to attack the evil God Palace and destroy it in one fell swoop. Tenzu's intention was clear. On one hand, they would continue to tangle with the evil path in Leaping Tiger City. On the other hand, they would secretly dispatch a team of elite experts from Mausoleum City to attack the evil God Palace and destroy it in one fell swoop. Upon hearing this, Dao Xiong, Yin Letian, and the other sovereigns' eyes lit up. This was indeed a good idea. Once they succeeded, the evil path would be caught in a dilemma. No matter what choice they made, the situation would be extremely beneficial to the Great Thousand World. Just think about it. After learning that the evil God Palace had been attacked, the evil path would only have two choices. They could either return to reinforce the evil God Palace or stay put. However, no matter what choice they made, it would be beneficial to the Great Thousand World. If the evil path chose to return to reinforce the evil God Palace, the Great Thousand World could take advantage of this opportunity to take down Leaping Tiger City in one fell swoop. At that time, with both Leaping Tiger City and Mausoleum City in their hands, the Great Thousand World would completely take the initiative, and the situation would change greatly. On the other hand, if the evil path chose to bide their time and continue to defend Leaping Tiger City, it would be fine for the Great Thousand World, as they could just destroy the evil God Palace. This would also be a huge blow to the evil path. It was indeed an extremely ingenious idea. However, after the excitement, Dan Xingyang frowned and said, "It is indeed a good idea, but who will be in charge? You should know that this mission can be said to be very dangerous." The idea was good, but the sovereigns were troubled by who to choose because it was too dangerous. It could even be said to be cannon fodder. Once the evil path chose to return to reinforce the evil God Palace, the Great Thousand World would definitely choose to attack Hulao Pass and not reinforce it. In this way, the people who went to the evil God Palace to launch a sneak attack would become rootless duckweeds. Moreover, they would be surrounded by the evil path with almost no chance of survival. It could be said to be suicide. Hearing Dan Xingyang's words, the sovereigns present were slightly stunned and then fell into silence. At the same time, Tenzu spoke. Originally, the best person to go would be one of us. However, the battle situation in Leaping Tiger City is tense. Moreover, all the evil sovereigns on the evil path side are currently gathered in Leaping Tiger City. If one of us leaves in front of everyone, there will likely be problems in the main battlefield. Furthermore, we're too eye-catching for the corrupt path. If one of us suddenly disappears, it's very likely that the corrupt path will notice and all our previous efforts will be wasted. So, I feel that the most suitable candidates are the various heavenly geniuses. Choose one of them to be in charge. As for who to choose, Heaven Ancestor had already thought about it. He would choose one from the various geniuses. As for the people below, he would choose end realm experts from the various factions. There wasn't a need for many people, just a dozen was enough. If there were too many, it wouldn't be good. It was enough for a group of over 10 end realm experts to sneak attack an unprepared evil god palace. That was because the main goal of this plan was to restrict the evil path experts in Leaping Tiger City. Hearing Tenzu's words, all the sovereigns fell into silence. Choosing one person from the various heavenly geniuses was indeed the best choice. But who should they choose? Everyone present was very clear that this plan was extremely dangerous for everyone. No matter who it was, once they went to the evil god palace, it was very likely that they wouldn't be able to return. As for the various sovereigns, they naturally didn't wish to push their own heavenly geniuses into a fire pit. As if he had already guessed everyone's reaction, Tenzu said at a neither fast nor slow pace, "As for the candidates, let those little fellows choose themselves tomorrow. We don't need to force them. After all, it's better for them to be willing to do such a thing, letting the various heavenly geniuses make their own choices." Regarding this, everyone thought about it and didn't object. This was also the best method. That night, in Xiao Chen's residence, Xiao Chun and Jun Wuya, master and disciple, sat opposite each other. They truthfully told Xiao Chan the thoughts of the various sovereigns during the day. At the end, Jun Wuya said indifferently, "The sovereigns want to choose one person from among you little fellows to sneak attack the evil god palace this time. However, this matter is extremely dangerous, so we old fellows won't force you. Everything will be up to you." Jun Wuya naturally didn't want Xiao Chen to go. After all, no matter how strong Xiao Chan was, if he really fell into the evil path's encirclement, let alone a half-step Emperor Realm Master, even if Xiao Chan really broke through to the Emperor Realm, he wouldn't have much of a chance of survival. Therefore, Jun Wuya's implication was to tell Xiao Chan that this mission was very dangerous and that he should think it over carefully. Not only Jun Wuya, Dao Xiong, Luo Xing, Li Xiao, Dan Qinyang, and the other sovereigns also told Dao Ju and the others about this matter. They also solemnly reminded them of the danger of this matter. After hearing Jun Wuya's words, Xiao Chen nodded and said, "I understand, Master." Xiao Chen naturally knew the danger of going to the evil god palace.